This is the day of the expanding man. That shape is my shade, there where I used to stand. It seems like only yesterday I graced through the glass at Ramblers, while gamblers, that's all in the past. You call me a fool, you say it's a crazy scheme. This one's for real, I already bought the dream. So useless to ask me why. Throw a kiss and say goodbye. I'll make it this time. I'm ready to cross that fine line. Learn to work the saxophone. I play just what I feel. Drink scotch whiskey all night long. And I behind the wheel. They got a name for the winners in the world. I want a name, would I lose? They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me Deacon Blues. Deacon Blues. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Guess the name of that song. Salute to you all. Positivity is definitely coming your way. I got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to do an open panel. Please, guys, if you call in, try to get on camera. Quit hiding behind the avatars. Quit hiding behind in the bushes. You're a man. Call in. For all the women that are watching, particularly, I would love to talk to you guys today concerning the beautiful Chicago cop, Ariana Preston. 24 years old, beautiful black girl. Unfortunately, she lost her life. Sources say it was a robbery. She was coming home after serving her community heroically as a police officer. And God knows she's a hero for being a police officer in Chicago. She came home 2 a.m. or roughly that time. And unfortunately, some demons, some evil individuals in the community robbed her. It seems like there may have been an exchange. She went out fighting. I could tell you that. It wasn't just a stick 'em up. She went out fighting. Unfortunately, she succumbed to her injuries. And there was a procession today in Chicago, a police procession. I'm going to talk about her. And, you know, it's really disheartening knowing that Black Lives Matter is not covering her death. The president isn't speaking about her death. Oprah, Whoopi Goldberg are not speaking about her death. It's really shocking. And I'm not a woman, as you can tell, but I'm outraged as a man. And we have a problem, the community. And the problem is black criminality. I believe that it is the number one problem in America. It's a national problem. And this is a perfect example. This could be the start of a movement here. Her death. So I would love for the ladies to call in. Big shout out to, and because I do Tuesday shows, I can't say this on the 11th because I won't be here on the 11th. I don't come on the Thursday show. Oh, if JR invited me, I'll come on. But you know, but the Thursday shows already are packed or stacked with an incredible panel. However, I want to give a big early birthday shout out to the Minister Louis Farrakhan. Want to give a big shout out to the Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's one of the greatest Black Americans ever, if you ask me. Created an institution. There are restaurants across the nation, even in my city, that are from the branch of the NOI. I went to school with a lot of FOI. I knew the minister of the mosque where I was at here, where I'm at. Good guy. I don't know if he's still I haven't talked to him in years, but I knew him. And I, you know, big shout out to Louis Farrakhan. You know, who else? Oh, and I'm going to talk about Howard Stern today. Oh man, I'm going to shock a lot of people today about Howard Stern. So just sit back, guys, hit the like button. Um, Real quick, guys, before I get into my sending out of positivity to you all, I want to ask you guys, have you gone out for a run? It is springtime. Summertime will be coming up. Summertime it will be coming up. And the best thing to do is to go out in nature, bask in the glory of the universe, get in shape, or if you are already in shape, just continue to do what you're doing. But I bought a great pair of running shoes the other day. Oh, they're called Asics Men's Gel Kensei Blast running shoes. Great damn running shoes. Again, they are called Asics are the best running shoes, period. I've been running with Asics for over a decade. But Asics Men's Gel Kensei Blast running shoes. These are great running shoes. It literally feels like you're walking on clouds. I'm telling you. I never walked on a cloud before, but I can assume that the feeling of walking on clouds would be the Asics Men's Gel Kensei Blast. Nice damn shoes. Get out there and enjoy the weather, guys. Bask in the glory of the universe. When you're out walking, look at the trees, look at the birds, look at the heavens, man. You know, there's this push, and I think it's a pseudo push for mental health in terms of therapy. I've never had any problems with my mental health. Some people do say I'm crazy, but I'm not. But my therapy has always just been getting outside. There's nothing like basking in the glory of nature, walking on grass barefoot, walking and taking hikes, getting a telescope and looking out and stargazing. Well, I don't know if you can do it in New York because there's a lot of light noise. But if you are in a rural area, have at it. Get you a nice telescope, man. Get you a good one for about 500. I think about a $500 telescope is a good telescope. But start stargazing. I'm telling you, man, that's therapeutic if you ask me. I've been stargazing since I've been a child. I still have the telescope my dad bought me from when I was a kid. That was over 30 years ago. Damn. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, salute to you guys. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Smash that like button. Go to Farrakhan's Twitter too, by the way, and give him a big happy birthday shout out. He's going to be 90 years old. 90. He won't be here one day, but he's still here. So give him a shout out. One of the greatest black men of all time, if you ask me. He is the definition of nation building. And you don't really get too many of Farrakhan's in a generation. Michael Jordan is not the greatest basketball player of all time, by the way. So I'm going to be talking about the NBA because the title is Howard Stern is complaining about why black NBA players are not speaking to him. And I know why. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. And you guys are going to be shocked. So stay tuned. Salute to you all. Positivity is definitely coming your way. We got Ant in the building. Salute to you, Ant. Ant says he, meaning Howard Stern, is crying about any little thing. Oh, yeah, he is. I'm gonna save this one because I want to broach that in a minute. Jay Daniel, salute to you, man. Positivity is definitely coming your way, man. I hope all is well with you and your family, man. Says Howard Stern should do what Scott Adams said and stay away from black people. Problem solved. Oh, I'm gonna save this comment until I get into the Howard Stern conversation. But salute to you. B Sammy says, shaking my head. How can black people be racist? It's the same bull from this cat, man. Now, B, I gotta save your comment, but salute to you, and positivity is definitely coming your way, man. Happy Tuesday. But I got a lot of opinions on that one. I'm gonna get to that. Cliff in the building. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Cliff, I hope all is well with you and yours, sir. Salute to you, man. Got Leak, man. Leak, thank you so much for being a member. Salute to you. Leak is a member of my channel, a member of the Lapeef Network. Leak, thank you so much, man. Positivity is definitely coming your way, man. Your membership support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Let me see. We got MS Best says ultra liberal wallflowers are too sensible for the real world. Talking about Howard Stern. MS Best says Stern thinking, I did so much virtue signaling for you minorities. Why can't I get respect for your efforts? Oh, I'm going to talk about that one too. Salute to you, MS Best. Positivity is definitely coming your way, guys. Hope all is well with you and yours. We got Wowzers is in the building. Says, how does Chaotic's wife look? None of your damn business. None of your damn business. None of your damn. You know, Wowzers, I don't know how old you are, my good sir, or you could be a female or ma'am. But there was a time, and this is how I know there's a generation divide. I can almost tell how old you are. You're obviously under the age of 30. I'm over 30. I'm 38. I'm almost 40 years old. There was a time in the 90s. You went to your friend's house. You could have known your friend all your damn life. Walk in the house, your friend's mom said, get y'all asses in the basement. Can't be up here. You can't be roaming around the house. Get y'all. Back in the day, people were more private. Back in the 90s, if you'd have asked another man how your wife looked, you might have got your teeth knocked out your mouth. Not you, Wowzers, but anybody. Man, how your wife look? Boom! Be picking up teeth, man. Picking up teeth. That's how the 90s were. And prior to, you couldn't ask a man how his wife looked. Hey, man, how your wife look, man? Boom! Boing! Are you nuts, Wowzers? Wowzers, how old are you? Are you 19? You must have grown up in this generation where people take photos of their food. People take photos of their combination to every... Here goes my combination to my locker. Why would you do that? People take photos of the inside of their house, the outside. Hey, look at my house. It's at 1234 Enterprise Avenue. Look at my big house. And wondering why you got robbed and burglarized. Niggas, even black people were private about their information back in the day. When I was a kid, man, you know how many times I got slapped by older black women for asking questions? Boom! She asked me no question like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, yeah. In church? Oh, man, I asked, I forgot what I asked this old lady. All I knew was I was holding my mouth after I asked her. That's how fast she slapped me. She was like 89, 90,000 years old. I asked her something, boom! You don't ask no man how your wife look. Ain't none of your damn business. Salute to you, though, Wowzers. Positivity is coming your way. And I can't really blame you, Wowzers. You grew up in a attention-seeking generation. Back then, your friend's mom didn't want you to see how the living room looked. Ain't none of your goddamn business. Y'all some kids. Get y'all asses in the basement and go outside. They ain't coming up in my living room with your shoes and shit. No, no. What? Stop. No. Back then, people didn't talk about, yeah, man, my parents are going through a divorce. Man, that was something that you kept secret. You'll be telling people your business? No. You'd have got chin checked back in the 90s. Boom. All I did was ask where they were going this week. That's how it was in the 90s, man. Wowzers, how old are you? Asking about a man's wife. You might as well. Wowzers, do you want my credit card information too? Here, I'll give you my credit card information. You want my, well, this is a Walmart gift card. But you want my credit card information too? You want the expiration date? You want the what is that? What's the three digit thing we call it? I forgot the. You want the 3-digit code too, or a number at the back? With how your wife look, nigga, please. Or you could be a white dude, hunky, please. Could be an Asian. I don't know, Asian, please. Ask about a man's wife. What's up, Ash? Positivity is coming your way, Ash. Salute to you. Wowzers asking questions. You want the? You want me to mail you the key to my house? Positivity is definitely coming your way, Ash. I hope all is well with you and yours. Oh, I am God. I am your God says I stopped caring about Howard Stern when he first showed his racist ways. Oh, well, you must have been watching Howard Stern in the 70s then, or listening to him. Salute to you, though. I am your God. I hope all is well with you and yours. Black Baron says, I never understood why I never understood why that white man was popular. Must be the small. Oh, stop. Don't do that. Positivity is definitely coming your way. I hope all is well with you and yours, Black Baron. Salute to you. Got Valerie in the building. Salute to you, Valerie. Positivity is definitely coming your way. We got Cryonetta says, hey, Chaotic. Salute to you, Cryonetta. I hope all is well with you and yours. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Fat Boy, what's going on? Says, where my homie Gorilla? I don't know. He was on my show the other day, caping for Chicago. Caping. He was lying. You would have thought Chicago was Monaco. When Gorilla got on there. What's up, Quentin? Salute to you, man. Positivity is definitely coming. Guys, get the likes up. Salute to you all. Let me see. Winners TV Network says terrible. Terrible. Salute to you, Winners TV Network. The Black Baron, man. Positivity definitely is coming your way. He says, this is better than rap. Oh, yeah. Did you guess the name of the song, though? They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me Deacon Blue. Man, God, you know, the 70s and the 80s, man, that was the best. That was the best music era ever in the history of mankind, period. Oh, yeah. Black people, white people. Oh, please. JoJo, oh, he said, this is the worst trash I had ever heard in my life. Ooh, talking about my singing. JoJo, peace and positivity is coming your way, sir. Ogun, ooh. Ogun, he's named after an Orisha. Orisha. Guys, look up the Orisha. Look up the Orisha. Ogun. Which god is is Ogun the most powerful one? I can't remember. I don't get into that African mumbo jumbo. He says, sing, bro. But salute to you, Ogun. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Let me see. Gene Cole says, chaotic lucky he ain't at the Apollo. They would have had that big ass umbrella and that coon that comes out dancing. You know, he get the tap dancing and he throws you off stage. What do they call that dude? I don't know what they call him. Roller Skater Texas Girl, salute to you. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Roller Skater Texas Girl, hope all is well with you and yours. Wowzer says, why you always talking down on black people? Woo! You silly bastard. I didn't say anything bad about black people. I said, shout out to Farrakhan. Happy 90th birthday. I talked about, well, briefly about the achievements of the NOI and him. I talked great about this poor girl that got shot. I'm going to talk. What are you talking about? When did I talk anything bad about any black people, sir? Call in, Wowzers. You already pissed me off earlier when you asked about my wife. How your wife look? You wanna see her get out the shower too? I'll send you some pictures, man. I'll send you some pictures. They call Alabama the glue guy says the mayor-elect was too busy fanboying over Lil Durk. Ooh, is Lil Durk a rapper? I don't know who that is. I don't know who Lil Durk is. Oh, he's a rapper. Oh, okay. You know, I don't listen to rap. I don't listen to jungle music. Mr. Best. Oh, talking about the cop in Chicago. I'm gonna get into all this. I'm just reading everybody's chat, sending out positivity. I'm gonna save your comment though. Okay. Salute to you, Trey. Positivity is coming your way. Says black people only run for the cops. Stop it. You ain't buying no running shoes. Typical nigga. Typical nigga. Joking, goosing and giggling. Only black people run from the cops. No, Negro. First of all, some of the best marathon runners on the planet, long distance runners, are black. We know track and field is dominated by blacks, male and female. What are you talking about with the silly jokes? I'm a marathon runner, sir. Why you stereotyping? Salute to you, Trey. Positivity is coming your way, man. Ed Hill says the whole NBA classics. Okay. Smooth Kenny says at Lapeef Network, the only problem is loneliness issue. American individualism has bred a society where we delete ourselves at double the rate as we delete each other. What? The suicide rate in America is it? Oh, you mean delete ourselves? Are you talking about suicide, Smooth Kenny? I'm a little. I hope I'm reading this right. But positivity is definitely coming your way. What's up, London? Positivity is coming your way too. Says peace and positivity to you. Peace and positivity to you too. I'm tripping over my words. Damn. FNE. What's up, man? Positivity is coming your way. Says I can't lie. Chaotic from four. I can't lie. Chaotic far from what I see. It had a problem. No, I'm not with fraternities or sororities. They don't do shit. What are you talking about? Are you talking about in relations to protesting? Okay, you gotta. You guys, you gotta call in. Because a lot of you guys, no offense, you don't have proper grammar. You don't have punctuations. There's no periods at the end. You gotta, we gotta call in. What's up, Vincent? Salute to you, man. Positivity is coming your way, man. Hope all is well with you and yours, good sir. Wowzer says, I'm not under 30. Afro Nerd Radio says, didn't Chris Rock say N-words love not to know? The generational, I don't know who he is response is not a good look. What's next? Not knowing George Washington? Just saying. Let me see. What's up? Oh man, my contacts. Chorus Bloom says, like the video. Thank you so much, Chorus. Positivity is coming your way. I hope all is well with you and yours. Who else do we have in the building? We have Lord Geotron says, I messed up, you guys. Dropped a dope supporter like me. Guys, you guys seriously got to start capitalizing, adding periods, commas. I have no idea what you're talking about, Lord Geotron, but positivity is coming your way. Salute to you, man. Positive. Yeah. Ola Durame. Yeah, Ola Durame, one of the Orishas. Yeah. Is the most powerful. Please. Did you know, Quincy, that when the Western Africans were taken, or I think a lot of them voluntarily came over here, but when they got to the New World, they brought the Orisha with them. And that's why we have Candomblé in Brazil. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Candomblé came from Mommy Africa. A lot of people don't know that. Like voodoo, what they call voodoo, what the white man calls voodoo, came from Africa. Yep. A lot of people don't know that, though. Let's see. Tracy says, chaotic really be poking the black bear, so to speak, every other word. Guys, did you? I never told anybody this, but I saw a black bear when I was going to DC one time. That was my first time ever seeing a black bear. Oh, yeah. Somebody had ran it over on the side of the road. They hit it. Was it all messed up? But that was the first time I ever seen a black bear. It was. I didn't know. I didn't realize they were that small. Yeah. Uh, oh yeah. When I was in college, believe it or not, a bear. And if Blue Cousins in the chat, he went to college. He went to the same school as me. There was a bear that was loose on the campus. They shut the campus down. They shut it down. I think a black girl saw the bear and said, "Oh hell no, it's a bear." Nah, she didn't. It was no black girl that saw the bear, but it was a bear on campus though. Ed says was talking about the Asics being the old NBA classics at Chaotic. I don't know what he means by that. Santeria, yes, Santeria, yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, all of that comes from Mommy Africa. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. Hey, Blue Cousin, remember? I remember that bear. Yeah, Blue Cousin being with the college, right? There was a bear that was loose on campus, man. We were shitting bricks. We were like, oh, because a lot of people don't know that black bears aren't. Don't get me wrong, black bears can rip your head off, but they're not really vicious. Like polar bears are man eaters, so they would literally. There have been cases where a polar bear has attacked and eaten man. They actually will hunt. They actually will hunt human beings. It's weird. They're like one of the only animals that stalks human beings to eat them. Can you imagine that? But black bears don't. They actually run away from people. They're more afraid of us, to believe it or not. So, when we're kids, we're 18, 19. We had only know about bears from the Jungle Book. No, I'm just playing. We knew about bears from, movies. They portray bears as these evil monsters. And really, bears are like, 4 feet tall. Black bears are real short. I guess when they stand up, they're about 6 feet. I don't know, but they're not that big, actually. But yeah, it was one loose. And we were in the dorm, shitting bricks. Like, oh, God. Black Baron says, yes, my friend, I went to his grandparents' house in college. We were 18. And his grandfather was an old school black dude from the South. He was like 6'6", like a straight farm black dude. Strong as an ox. He had to be in his 60s. Man, he said he fought several bears back in the day and knocked one out. And we were like, man, he talking shit. And now that I'm older, I can believe it. Oh, yeah, definitely. Smooth Kenny says, your experience with the black bear was the same as mine with the moose. Oh, God. It was just the noggin. Oh, it was just a noggin on the side of the road. Oh, yeah. Damn, a moose? My God, man, that thing probably had to be enormous, man. Those mooses are huge, man. Or moose. I don't know if you can say mooses, but yeah, those moose are huge, man. Let me see. Woody Mac, positivity is coming your way, says to exhibit a stop, I put a comma, then waited for Chaotic to read it. Hence the halt to the drama. Oh my God. Yeah. So let me get into the sub topic, and not sub as in bad, but I'm gonna get to the main topic in a minute. I want to talk about this beautiful. What's up, Jesse? How you doing, man? Positivity is coming your way, man. I want to talk about this beautiful black girl, who was a cop in Chicago. Hero in my book. Anytime you put on, oh, you can't see her. Anytime you put on, oh, wait a minute, my fault, Mike. That shouldn't be there. Hold on. How do I get this off? There we go. Oh, StreamYard got this. Oh, they got it like that now. Oh, wow. Okay. Look at that. Yeah. So this beautiful black girl, Ariana Preston. What's up, Lindor? I'm talking about a few things today. The main topic is Howard Stern. He's saying that the NBA black players are racist towards him because they don't speak to him. But I have a lot to say about that. But first, I'm talking about Ariana Preston. I'm talking about her because I know Black Lives Matter. LeBron James, Michael Jordan never really got into social topics. Oprah, Whoopi Goldberg, white liberals. They're not going to talk about Ariana Preston. They're not going to talk about her because it doesn't fit their narrative. She's not a downtrodden black. She wasn't a black who lost her life at the hands of a white, which doesn't happen that often. She lost her life at the hands of niggas. And calling them niggas is too nice. She lost her life at the hands of some demons. Instead of getting jobs, instead of working hard, instead of caring about the community and other black people in the community, they decided to put a gun to another black person's back or front and say, give me everything you got. This beautiful black girl, Ariana Preston, she says, hell no. And there are reports that there was a shootout, if I'm not mistaken. Now, whether she was in uniform or not, whether she was off duty or on duty, this was an egregious act. And it's far too often. These liberal cities with these black liberal mayors, Lori Lightfoot, these liberal black DAs, Alvin Bragg in New York, they have problems with keeping it real. And so do many white liberals. Black people commit an inexorbitant, did I use that word right? Inexorbitant amount of crimes in this country. They shoot and kill each other. They rob each other. They burglarize each other at astronomical rates. But the tragedy of all of this, and this is my problem with it, is good blacks sit back and say nothing. They don't say nothing. Or they either encourage the behavior or they advocate for the criminality. I've seen it in schools. I'm not going to get into a long diatribe about this because the main topic is about Howard Stern. I've seen it in schools. Blacks with PhDs and masters, they don't spend extra time with the smart kids that are black. They use a lot of resources and a lot of energy on the low lives, on the demon kids. And thus, those demon kids turn into the kids that rob this well-to-do, decent, upstanding, law-abiding hero, Ariana Preston. That's what happens. I saw it when I was a kid. I saw it growing up. I saw it in my 20s. They advocate for the monsters in the community. There's no media attention. But the well-to-do blacks, the civilized blacks, the blacks that are in fraternities and sororities, the blacks that are a part of all types of organizations, Jack and Jill, the blacks that are in positions of power and leadership, what do? They wait for the next Jordan Neely, downtrodden black who is a failure on his own account. They wait for a white boy to take you out. Then that's when people want to march and protest, wear black, and sing in hymn. Turn that off. That's when blackity blacks want to get out there and march, which really doesn't really happen a lot. And when it does happen, 9 times out of 10 is absolutely justified. Black Lives Matter, go to their website, go to their Twitter, go to their Instagram. It ain't a word of this beautiful black girl on there. Go to Tariq Nasheed's Twitter and Instagram. Not a lick. Go to Dr. Umar's Twitter. Not a lick. Not a word about this beautiful black girl. This girl who served the community. How many black elite people are talking about the fact that this educated black girl who was about to receive her master's degree next week was taken off the planet from a most likely illiterate little demon? Whoopi Goldberg will cry racism all the time. How come she's not crying it now? I'm sorry, how come she's not crying? I'm sorry, she will cry injustice all the time. Why isn't she crying injustice now? Oh, child. Oh, child. I can't believe that happened, child. What about this girl, Whoopi? LeBron, where is your tweet about this poor girl? It ain't nowhere. Nowhere. Joe Biden. Well, he has people that write his material for him, but where is AOC now? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Where are you at now? Where are you at, AOC? Where's your Puerto Rican love for this beautiful black girl? You love taking up and caping for downtrodden blacks, AOC, like you did for Jordan Neely. Why aren't you taking up for this beautiful black woman? Because it doesn't fit your need or your interest. I mean, it doesn't fit your narrative. Black on black violence in this country is a national problem. Do you think if Japanese people were snuffing each other out and robbing from each other in astronomical numbers, do you think that the Japanese prime minister would say, well, that's what people do in their culture. That's just normal? No, they would make it a national issue and they would stop it. Do you think if this was China, do you think if this was China and Chinese were snuffing each other out in astronomical numbers and committing all types of heinous acts, do you think that Xi Jinping would allow it? Are you out of your mind? No. They would address it. They wouldn't beat around the bush. They wouldn't say flowery things. They would stop it. And we have to stop what's going on in this country. The triads ain't messing with the civilians in Japan. I know a lot of people will say, well, the triads exist in Japan, but they're not messing with the civilian class. They're not terrorizing the civilian neighborhoods. Well, the white people had the mafia back in the day. Well, the mob had codes. And you know what a lot of their codes were? Not to mess with the civilian population. They also had other codes too. Hey, if we're going to be committing these crimes, let's build businesses and fronts and let's make sure the neighborhood doesn't get too hot. They wouldn't let no young Italian mobster shoot up an Italian neighborhood and kill. Are you crazy? Nobody's going to talk about this poor girl. Where are the black men who love their sisters, right? You love your queens, right? Where you at now? Why ain't you saying anything now? I don't have to read all of this. I read it the other day. But if I was the mayor, if I was the governor of one of these states or the president, I would say, man, black on black violence is the nation's number one problem. You know why? It destroys economies. Number one. Look at how many neighborhoods have been destroyed by you know who? Because of criminality. Who wants to put businesses in there with all that criminal activity? Don't know who. There's no transactions going on in a lot of these hoods. That's why there's food deserts. You think they don't have grocery stores in the hood? Like that's some conspiracy? No. There's no grocery stores in the hood, just like there's not a lot of high-end restaurants or banks because blank words rob them and shoot outside of them. Who wants to patronize an establishment where they might get killed at? That's why people don't go into the hood. People don't go into the hood because, oh, well, I don't want to go to this because they're black. No. But there's no commerce going on because of violence. Those 2 or 3% affect the entire community because the 97% sit back and say, well, man, it's systemic, man. Don't worry about that. Let him do what he got to do. Let that boy loiter out the gas station. Don't bother him. We don't have a lot of Karens in our neighborhood. This poor girl, man. Brazen acts of ignorance and violence. Having that girl as a cop in that neighborhood probably was of benefit to the people around them. That's how stupid they are. They didn't get it. And that's why a lot of black communities are disaster zones. On par with being in hell, if you ask me. This poor black girl could have moved to a white neighborhood and got away from blacks. She didn't. She stayed right there. That's how much love she had to have love for her community, because not only was she a cop, she was living in a black neighborhood. That just shows me that this girl had a heart that I don't have. I don't want to be around niggas. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to be next door to weed smoking, dice playing niggas. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to be next door to Shaquita with 4 kids and ain't got no man in the house. That shows me that woman's house is unstable. There's instability there. She ain't got a husband. So that means that she's trafficking in and out of dudes coming in there. And where are these dudes coming from? See, I think about stuff like that. Who are these dudes? That's too many dudes coming here. Well, I don't know these dudes' background. This is not stable. A married man that lives next door with his wife and kids lets me know that this guy is stable. There's stability in that home. He has something to live for. But this beautiful black girl, I mean, hero, yes, but a little bit of naivete. She was kind of naive. Not in a bad way, but in an innocent way. A lot of black people really have hearts, man. A lot of black people. See, I used to probably be like her too when I was younger. But the very same people that she would have fought for are the ones who killed her. That is absolutely insane. It was a female in the group and 4 dudes. And what were they robbing her for? She's a what on earth would she have that 5 of you had to rob her? A fellow black. But I get called the coon. I get called the Uncle Tom. Where are all the black women, content creators, that are going to talk about this poor girl? 6 to Goddess, are you going to talk about her? You love black people so much. Are you going to talk about her six? Are you going to talk about your black sister? Don't you make videos uplifting blacks? This is an absolute tragedy right here. And she didn't deserve that. She didn't. She didn't deserve that at all, actually, to be honest with you. And look, like I said, man, it's not about catching her criminals. Well, I mean, it is, but what the difference, in my opinion, between black criminality and white criminality and Asian criminality is that other groups of people typically commit more or less, I'm sorry, more domestic type crimes. There aren't packs of white boys driving around committing armed robberies, carjackings. They're just not. They're not harming the community at high levels compared to blacks. Same thing with Asians. They're not doing it. They may commit crimes, but they're more than likely it's more white collar or more domestic type situations. John, I came home and the back door was kicked in. Well, it probably was Billy. You know he's on fentanyl. He probably robbed. See, whites will probably rob their parents or something, burglarize their parents' home. They're not gonna go into Miss Annie, who's a 90-year-old church lady down the street, burglarize and knock her down the stairs and kill her. They're not gonna do that, generally speaking, because the community would be in uproar about something like that. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in those communities, but I know black and whites and Asians commit different types of crimes. That's one thing I do know. That's one thing I do know. I've worked in law enforcement. I've worked in the courts. Little black boys are shooting in Chicago. They're like, you don't think that you're shooting and where do you think your bullet goes? You think this is a video game and your bullet disappears off screen or something? You think it regenerates off screen? Where do you think the bullets go? White boys don't do that. Asians don't do that typically. Let those kids play at this playground. Leave them alone. Don't do anything around this playground. You want to shoot and kill each other? Go to some outskirts somewhere. Do all the gang banging you want. I don't care. See, that's what I would say if I was the mayor. Listen, you guys, it's in your DNA to do this. That's fine, but leave civilians alone. Leave them alone. And what happened to this girl is it's absolutely appalling to me, because even though she was a cop, at that moment, go into her house, she's a civilian. And I don't think they even knew she was a cop. Maybe they did. I don't know. I know that this was a robbery. I don't know if it was targeted, but this was definitely a robbery. So, like I said before, for everybody, for content creators, people in the chat that have called me a coon and Uncle Tom, what about the people who murdered this girl? Who've destroyed a black life, who've destroyed a black community? What about those people? Or are you gonna pick a soft target like me, somebody I never destroyed anybody's life. I may have destroyed a bathroom or two. That was kind of corny. That wasn't that funny. Like, use a bathroom. Yeah, that was kind of weird. But I've never done grievous or acts to the black community. Never done it. Never. I never will. So to this black girl, Ariana, you know, shout out to you. You were a hero. You had a lot to live for. You're very talented. And I know the black community won't remember you, but I certainly will. I certainly will. Because you were the type of black that the community needed. And unfortunately, the community that you're a part of, you know, upholds dope fiends and crackheads and criminals more than they do people like you, Ariana. And that's unfortunate. But again, you're in the hearts of a lot of logical thinking blacks. May not be a lot of us, Ariana, but there are some of us that exist. A crackhead, black, white, I have no love for. A criminal, I could care less about. But you, Ariana, you were a hero. So salute to you, by the way. Positivity is coming your way. She was cute. Damn. Let's see here. Let me talk about a song earlier. I kind of want to sing again. All right, give me 1 second. J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith. Let me make this big, though. Let me make this big for everybody can see. J.R. Smith explains why black NBA players don't show love to Howard Stern. Stern compared the lack of acknowledgement he receives to that of black stars like Spike Lee and Chris Rock. Howard Stern's comments about black NBA players giving him the cold shoulder while sitting courtside has garnered responses from a number of athletes and pundits. Former NBA player J.R. Smith recently weighed in on the topic of Stern's treatment by black NBA players, arguing that many may not be aware of his accolades or stature given their generational gap. I'm sorry, but what basketball player listens to him? Laugh out loud. I don't think I've met one, black or not. The former New York Knicks star tweeted on Saturday in response to a similar sentiment made by journalist Taylor Rooks. Howard Stern is one of the most talented interviewers of all time. Rooks wrote of the legendary shock jock on Friday, May 5th. With that being said, this is a ridiculous stance. Many of them simply have no idea who he is, and people not knowing you isn't an insult. Now, this is from J.R. Smith's Twitter. I'm sorry, but what basketball player listens to him? Laugh out loud. I don't think I've met one, black or not. Stern touched on the lack of interaction he's had with black NBA players during a recent radio appearance alongside Robin Quivers, juxtaposing his experience with that of a black celebrity like Spike Lee. They put me courtside and the black players won't come over and say hello to me, Stern told Quivers. But they go over to Spike Lee. When asked if the athletes acknowledge him at all, Stern remained adamant in his claim of the unceremonious reception he's received. This is what This is what Howard Stern says, quoting, "I'll be sitting next to Tracy Morgan or Chris Rock," Stern continued. "You know, they seat you where they seat you. And a lot of times when I'm there, I'm next to Tracy Morgan, who is so funny. And he's sitting there and like a couple of the players will come over. They like give him that bro shake and stuff. And I'm like, these guys should hug me too. I mean, what am I? I grew up in a black neighborhood. He did. He went to a black high school called Roosevelt. You should definitely listen to his Roosevelt High School stories. You know what I mean? I mean, they should know that, but I get ignored." The radio jock did admit that he doesn't believe the lack of acknowledgement is rooted in racial prejudice. No, not that I saw. I want them to. I want them to talk to me. I want them to come up and go, "Hey, Howard, fan of the show," or something. I don't get that, he said. And you know who comes up to me sometimes? The referees, white guys and black guys. They'll come up to me white referees and black. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that. Like, hey, Howard, hey, but yeah, a lot of the white referees, yeah, but a lot of the white referees. Okay, so I'm like, oh, is everything racial now? Can I get a shout out from some of the players? In his comments, Stern, who is 69 years old, referred to players from the New York Knicks as he's a diehard fan of his hometown team. The New York Knicks recently won their first playoff matchup, and I was devastated about. I was not really devastated, but I was pissed off. Their first playoff matchup in a decade with their victory over the Cleveland Cavs in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Knicks are currently trailing 2-1 in their second round matchup against the Miami Heat. Let me get to this real quick. I never thought in a million years that I would ever say this about Howard Stern. Howard Stern has turned into a loser. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's turned into a loser. And you know why he's turned into a loser? He's turned into a loser because he turned into the very same old man. He turned into the very same celebrity. He turned into Don Imus, the very same person that he used to talk shit about. Howard was anti-establishment. Howard was anti-Hollywood. Howard was the chaotic truth before I was born. He was. He was, man. He was. He used to, oh my God. Let's not even talk about the whack pack. He used to invite all types of people on the show. Skinheads, KKK members. Daniel Carver's one of them. He used to invite all types of blacks, pimps on there, people with deformities, people who had disabilities. And he used to have conversations with them. The man was an incredible radio host. He talked about how Hollywood. He talked about how plastic Hollywood was, how fake it was, when nobody else would do it. He went in on Don Imus. He had a war with Don Imus for many, many years. And now, Howard Stern has turned into Don Imus. That is absolutely insane. Now he's goody two shoes with celebrities now. Celebrities that he once used to go in on. The man has lost it. He should have retired many years ago. He hasn't been relevant since, I would say, the early 2000s. When Artie Lang left the show, he got rid of a lot of his old school staff. And, there are a lot of reports from, former cast members that Howard Stern the environment was absolutely horrific to work in. He used to clown Don Imus for his idiosyncrasies. Don Imus didn't let people speak to him. Oh yeah, you could get fired if you spoke to him. Howard is like that now. Howard is an egomaniac. And for him to say that the black players who are on average 23 years old should come up to him says a lot. It could be mental decline, or it could just be that he literally has become a sociopath the older he's gotten. Howard, most of these players, they don't know who you are. They were born in the year 2000. 10-year-olds aren't listening to the radio, my good sir. So even if these players were 10 in the year 2010, they're not listening to you. They don't know who you are. And not to mention, they've grown up in the social media age. They've seen thousands of stars. Gone are the days of you are a star because you're on TV. Gone are the days that you are a star because you're on the radio. These kids have TikTok stars, Instagram stars. They have Twitter stars. These kids have thousands and thousands of people to choose from. Whereas back in the 90s, you may have only had 50. So yes, you would have been a household name back in the day, Howard Stern. Are you out of your mind? Nobody know who you are. Yes. Me, yes, I know who you are. I used to listen to you when I used to drive. And mind you, I started listening to Howard in 98. And in 99, I was 14. And, I used to listen to him on my way to school. When I started driving to high school, I used to listen to you. I thought you were funny. But these kids aren't listening to you, man. So they didn't grow up on you. So for you to say that, oh, the NBA, these players don't come up to me, they don't. You're not even you're not even on their radar. You're not on their radar. These kids don't know you. Let's be honest. The black kids don't know you. The white kids don't know you. I would even argue that anybody under 30 doesn't really. I would say 99.9% of people under 30 do not know who you are, Howard. I know, Howard. You used to be funny. You used to stick it to the man. But those days are over. And these NBA players, man, they have a lot on their plate. They don't care about you, man. They're not listening to shock jock material. These are athletes. They're probably listening to more sports radio in the morning if they do listen to radio. I can't believe he said that. I can't believe Howard Stern has turned into this man. He may as well just change his name to Don Imus. Nobody has to kiss your ass, Howard. Howard actually said that podcasting was for losers. He said that. He said podcasters won't make any money. This was years ago. He went in on Ari Shafir, who's another Jewish comedian who's, like our generation. Well, he's 50 or 49. But he went in on Ari Shafir, said that podcasting wasn't, it wasn't going to generate any money. It wasn't lucrative. And look at what's happened with podcasting and live streaming, man. Howard is old, and that's what's happened. He's a Model T Ford car that has been transported to the 2000s. That's how old he is. There's such a gap in his mindset. Why are they podcasting? They got to get up early like me and come into the radio station. And that's hard work. No, they don't. They don't have to do that, Howard. They don't have to do that. Times have changed. A kid can just get on their phone, turn it on, come on YouTube and start talking, and 50 people, 100 people, 500, 1,000 people will start watching him or her. There are kids now, Howard, that they literally turn on their video game system and play a game, and they have 5,000 people watch. I Show Speed, who's a black kid from Cincinnati. This kid's a millionaire. You know why? Because people find him interesting. People find him funny. And all he does is play video games, man. And they not watching me. They're not watching you at 70. And listen, if these kids aren't watching me, Howard, and I'm half your age, they're not watching you. Ain't nobody watching you, man. And that same allure for mainstream celebrities isn't there anymore because of the mentality of people like this guy in the chat, Wowzers. Let me see your wife. See, the problem with a lot of celebrities now is that before we couldn't see the private life of a celebrity. So now you got celebrities camming up, live streaming from their mansions. Before you didn't have any access to no damn celebrities. So it was a treat to go into the grocery store when you were a kid, and they may have shown you the front lawn of Michael Jackson's house. Like, wow, that's the front lawn. He has grass. But now Chris Brown, he'll cam up, he'll show you his bathroom, his address, he'll show you everything. So now when you see these people in public, it's like, oh, there goes Chris Brown. Oh, there goes whatever, you know. So what I see is an old man. I mean, again, man, Howard Stern to me is like the old guy that still has the TV like with the dial. You gotta dial, you gotta turn it to go to another channel. And then you come into the house like, hey, grand, why do you still have that TV? Like, how does that even work? I didn't even know they still had local TV. Remember what people had local TV? It was like 5 stations. 5. Why they got all these channels? I'm not getting a smart TV. That's Howard. Listen, technology is ever increasing. It's exponentially increasing. Who knows where we are going to be at 10 years from now, 20 years from now? With the advent of AI technology, Chat GPT, man, we're going to see incredible inroads into a new future. Imagine this. An app on your phone. You click this app, you order food. The food comes to your door in 20 minutes. Who would have ever thought of something like that 30 years ago, 40 years ago? I will never let somebody deliver food to me. That's what we do with DoorDash. Hey, man, I want a beer. Let me click this app. And then boom, beer is at my door. Howard, you're horse and buggy at this point. You're the horse and buggy. I'm never gonna give up my horse and buggy. Well, Grandpa, you can just get to the store faster in this sports car. Oh no, we've always been doing it with the horse and buggy. Why aren't these black basketball players saying hi to me? I was the king of New York. Howard, at this age now, people are going to start thinking that. Now, mind you, 69 is not that old. Now, when you get about 80, 85, that's when, people start saying, yeah, he may need to stay in the house. But Howard, you're 69, man. You're not that old, bro. You're beginning to sound like like an old man at this point. An old man. Let me see. Salute to you all once again, man. This man is old, man. Jay Daniel says Howard Stern should do what Scott Adams said and stay away from black people and problem solve. Well, Howard Stern has a love-hate relationship with blacks. He's definitely not a racist, but he definitely has angst against a lot of blacks. He went to Roosevelt High School. He used to say that the black kids used to bully him, which I believe. I've seen that growing up. Black kids bullying the white kids just because they're white. I've seen that a lot. So I do believe that's what happened. But Howard, you're 70 years old, man. These kids literally were born in 2000, man. They don't care about you. There are TikTok stars that are more famous than you now. Kylie Jenner is at what, 23 years old? She's more famous than you, and she's only been popular for the last 3 or 4 years. B Sammy says, shaking my head. How can black people be racist? It's the bull. It's the same bull from this cat. Nah, black people can be racist, sir. Blacks can be racist without a doubt. I see you in the back. Give me a second. I disagree with that. Now, you could believe what you want to believe, but blacks practice racism all the time, colorism, absolutely. And don't give me, well, we don't got no power. Blacks have a lot of power, and we definitely practice racism. We definitely have our circles where whites are not invited. Stop it. Stop. And I listen, I would name drop organizations, but I'm not going to do it. But blacks are definitely elitist, racist. Sometimes, B. Sammy, openly racist. Openly. And discriminatory towards other groups of people. So I don't buy that at all. Now you can continue to believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. And then Howard is talking about why do they go over to Spike Lee? Well, Spike Lee has more of a generational popularity, you know. And let's be honest, Spike Lee, Jack Nicholson are, I mean, to be honest with you, more relevant. And let's be honest, we know who are the top people at MSG. And it's Spike Lee, and Spike Lee. Spike Lee owns the MSG. Madison Square Garden, for all the women who don't know. Not Howard Stern. Who says, oh, Howard Stern was at the Knicks game? What are you talking? Even people who grew up on Howard Stern, we don't care. I knew listen, I knew that Howard Stern used to go to Knicks games. But whoever said, oh, yeah, Howard Stern's at the Knicks game. No. Spike Lee, that drama and beef he had with Reggie Miller. Woo, that was like some WWF stuff. WWE. Howard, you didn't do that, man. You weren't famous for this. No. That was Spike Lee and Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller. Woo, that boy. He's hit those threes. So yes, blacks can be racist, sir. Let me see. FNE Snack says, I can't lie, Chaotic. From what I see, it had a problem. Not one of my. I'm not. I don't know what he's talking about. You have to cab up, bro. Hey, kid, are you back? Now, Black Baron says something interesting here. He says, I never understood why that white man was popular. It must be the small hat gene. Well, I can tell you this, the Black Baron. Howard Stern, even though he's turned into Don Imus, I can't lie, man. Howard Stern used to drop 63 every time he got on the mic. Oh, yeah. Oh, the dude was absolutely funny. Like, dude, there were times where I would be driving to school, high school, and like I had to pull over because I was laughing so hard. His commentary on anything was just absolutely spot on. It was funny. It was from the heart. The way he had the whack pack set up, the dialogue, it was genius. It was genius. The way he covered topics, when he had roast, the most famous roast he ever had was the Daniel Carver roast. That is, to me, that's the funniest roast of all time. His sound bites were absolutely screaming funny, especially his African sound bite, something like that. It was some one of those backwards countries in Southern Africa. I want to say, I can't remember what country that was. It's for one of those backwards tribes. Yeah, but Howard, so I can't sit up here and lie on the man. The man was, I mean, insanely talented. And the way he used to stick it to the man. And I'm telling you, the way that he would, I mean, I gotta say this, man, a lot of people can't copy what he did, especially with getting guests. Even the Whack Pack, man, Riley Martin. Oh my God! Listen, his exchanges between Riley Martin and him were absolutely insanely funny, and the way he was cheap. Woo! He was cheap. And then I liked Howard Stern back in the day because you could joke on him and what they call rib on him, and he'd just sit there and take it. That's the beauty of Howard Stern. But Howard Stern should have retired about 20 years ago. He's gone soft, liberal, sucking up to celebrities. When back in the day, he would have never done that. Marco T says Howard Stern was popular because he came across no F's given, but in reality, he has bent his ass over to the wokesters. Yes, he is absolutely woke now. I remember when 9/11 happened. This Howard Stern, this one right here, old Howard Stern, he would pretend like, oh, I wonder who flew the planes into the building. When 9/11 happened, he said, you know who did it? Those towel heads. Oh, that's how truthful he was. He didn't beat around the bush. Say, we know who did it. But this woke guy here, yeah, he plays to the woke crowd. But for him to get mad at these 22, 23-year-old boys is ridiculous. These kids don't know who he is. They don't know who he is, man. And they don't care. And like I said, you got so many celebrities now. The allure of a Hollywood celebrity isn't there anymore. Will Smith could walk in any mall now, nobody would care. But let one of these TikTok stars walk in the mall, people are going to be following them. It's just how it is now. That's how media has changed. What's up, Kenny? How you doing, man? Which topic would you like to broach? What did you think about that poor, beautiful black girl that was gunned down, and how Negroes are not talking about this angel that was a hero in the black community?
The one you were talking about yesterday?
Yes, and I talked about her today too. Yep.
Yeah, and what happened is this, right?
Go ahead, sir.
You see, reaction is selective. Yeah. The reason why reaction is selective is sometimes it's not done on purpose. If she was a military personnel, you might never talk about it. She's a police officer. Now she's a little bit closer to home. You heard about it and now you're talking about it, right? If she was a civilian, then there would have been an outrage. So the closer you are to civilian, the more outrageous it becomes. But the closer you are to the guns, right? The less outrageous it becomes because they believe she signed up for it. You see, it's a sad truth. It's a sad truth. But at the same time, the circumstances behind her death should have made a whole lot of difference. Because if she was a military personnel and she was killed like that, it would have been outrageous. And if she was not a black woman, it would have been a little bit outrageous. I don't know how the outrage would have been. But the thing is this. The civil rights activists will only come out when something happens to certain people in the society.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
Yeah, because those people have bigger mouths.
Yeah.
They cry louder. Is it all of them? No, it's not all of them. But the ones that have the big mouth will cry out and get the civil rights attention to come. But one thing that I would say that really pisses me off in this space is that when crime is being committed between black and black, nobody hears about it.
Mm-hmm.
It dies off.
Correct.
But when it involves a different race, now we want to talk about it. And then when it's a police officer against our own race, then everybody go crazy. But again, it's not all of them that is being reported too. It's not all of them that make it to national news on either side of the that's on either side. But black on black crime has to be talked about because to
Yeah.
me that's the far more dangerous one of all of
Mm-hmm.
them.
I believe it. Yep.
Black people kill black people at the rate of almost 90%.
Mm.
And we all know the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
We know the reason why these kids that instead of them fighting with their fists, they want to just shoot up people or shoot up
Mm-hmm.
somebody and run away because we know where they're coming from. But I got to tell you, if you talk about that on the national news, that news station is going to fire your ass in a heartbeat because of what?
Mm.
There are people that pay their bills.
Yeah.
And even those people that, the reason why the people that pay their bills would demand you to be gone is because those are their patrons.
Go ahead.
Even if they don't patronize them, they're going to come out and cry and say, we're going to boycott you. We're going to stop doing this. And then when the boycotting is not happening, they're going to then shame the people that are patronizing you. You see? So now you're forced to do something about it, even to the detriment of the society. Just like I was talking about, I was discussing on the previous show. We have a pandemic, an epidemic in our system, which is people having kids for the people they're not supposed to have kids for.
Mm.
Fathers not being in the house for one or two reasons. Mothers believing that they can raise a child and they don't need a man. We have to
Mm.
tackle all these issues simultaneously because the kids that are being born into the system are now killing each other. And when they can kill each other, they come into the malls and the street to kill. So these are things we have to tackle. These are things we have to deal with because it's becoming too much and it's getting out of hand. I am now being scared of raising my own child or children in the United States.
Mm.
Why? Because you don't know who your kid is going to school with,
You
and you
don't.
don't
Yep.
you don't know what that person is going to turn out to be 18 years from now or 16 years from now. However years it is for them to obtain that gun that they can use to do damage. We as parents have to start. We as parents and people have to start shaming people irregardless of who they are in our community because our
Mm-hmm.
community takes the highest blunt. I don't care what somebody's going to say out there about, hey, you're not supposed to say this. No, I'm supposed to say whatever I want to say as long as I can shame you to raising the right kids.
Mm-hmm.
I can say whatever I want to say as long as I can shame you to being the right father, to being the right mother, to being the right parent that you're supposed to be by sitting your asses in one house and contribute in the raising of your kids. Nobody should tell you how to raise your child, but when you raise them right, nobody should complain. But if you don't raise them right, we all have to say something because guess what? They're in our streets, they're in our neighborhoods, they're chasing our daughters and sons. So we have every right to say something. So if you don't want me to say something, you go raise your kids right. That's what it is.
Okay. Good point. Lord Geotron, and thank you for the support again, Lord Geotron. Says the most dangerous places for kids and people in general. Number one, the black female's womb. Number two, in the public school. Number three, black neighborhoods where there are no fathers. Okay, okay. I can agree with that. I can get with that. Um, Kenny, what say you about uh the upcoming minister's birthday on the 11th? The minister will be 90. Do you even care, sir?
I mean, what was his name?
Farrakhan.
Farrakhan. Well, every um, the thing is this, right? The crazy thing that has been going on in America as a whole is the fact that people don't celebrate older people anymore. We don't
Mm.
celebrate old people. We don't celebrate longevity. We don't celebrate their wisdom, especially when their wisdom is not in line with our foolishness. Or because I gotta put it this way, I remember growing up back home when I was a teenager, when I was a little kid. The greatest joys, the greatest joy that I always had growing up was seeing those old men full of wisdom, listening to them talk. Because my grandfather, from my paternal side, I never got to meet him. Died in
Mhm.
1968 during the Nigerian Civil War.
Mhm.
My grandfather, from my maternal side, died when I was 6 years old. I remember him, remember his voice, but I really didn't experience him. So not having those two paternal, that's the patriarchy of the family right there. I didn't like that fact, but my parents were dead. They lived together till my mom died and then my dad died. I was fortunate to have my parents, but one thing that I also know is that I saw a lot of old men in the village.
Mhm.
People around my grandparents, my grandfather's age, and the word of wisdom that came out of them were fascinating. So we black people should always celebrate when somebody hits a milestone.
Mm.
When somebody, even if we don't agree with them, but they have that wisdom to spill to us, because you might not like what I'm saying, but take it and bank it. You don't have to use it. Take it, bank it, but you might need it someday.
Okay.
It's just the fact that there is no respect. How can people respect Louis Farrakhan if they can't even respect their own father? They don't even know the
Mm.
value of a father. You can't give respect to something you don't know the value of. If you're not raised if you're raised in a family whereby it's only in a family of 90% women or 95% women, how are you going to know the value of a man? So people like Louis Farrakhan, when they speak, it agitates you because you never know the value of a man.
Mm.
Some of them don't even know that men supposed to speak like that. The only person that can speak blunt and don't give a damn is a man. Your mother is not supposed to be blunt because guess what? She's a woman. She's not supposed to be blunt. Men
Yeah.
are supposed to be blunt
Very.
because it's called masculinity. The moment you are blunt, you are masculine.
Yeah.
Masculinity is blunt because blunt is truth and truth is bitter and it's painful. So you have to be blunt as a man at all times because that's the only way you can be respected in this society because your words have meaning.
Okay. Howard Stern. I gave my spiel about Howard Stern. He's turned into an old, bitter man. He's upset that NBA players, particularly black ones, don't come up to him and grip him up and dap him and hug him. And I said it's because nobody knows who you are anymore, and you're not relevant anymore. And these kids are kids. They were born in 2000. They were 10 years old when he literally was in obscurity when he was in 2010. I think he was doing Dancing with the Stars or something like that. These kids don't know who he is. What would say you, sir, about Howard Stern trying to accuse these black boys in the NBA of being racist towards him?
I think our son is just trying to be relevant, which is
Mm,
not a bad idea because you know that is one thing that comes. You see, a man, like I said, a man has to be blunt. Doesn't mean a man has to be
yeah,
talkative or say everything that comes into his head. No,
correct.
a man has to bite his words before he spills it out. The
Yes.
word you spill out has to have power. That's why it's blunt. It has to pierce through the heart. So Howard Stone is seeking relevance. And the reason why he's seeking relevance is because he wants to be relevant in the news
Yeah,
again. Most of these kids were born in the 2000s, you see. And if they were born like 2000, 2001, 2003, that means they are between the age of 20 and 23.
exactly.
And I was torn almost. I would say right after the recession, before just a year before the recession, most people didn't hear about our Stone anymore. He was gone. He was almost gone. And remember, he's not even on the family television. He was on cable.
Yeah,
You know. So due to the fact that he's on cable, there are people that didn't have cable
yeah, that's true
those
too.
days. So they didn't know him. So one thing, like the reason why I said that a man should always bite what he says is because if our Stone was a thoughtful man, he should have known these things. That hey, these kids didn't grow up around when I was in NBA. It's just like Michael Jordan saying that oh, kids that were born in 2000 shouldn't remember the way he dribbled. This
Yeah,
kid, Michael Jordan retired in 2002. Those kids don't know Michael Jordan.
no, they don't. Yeah,
All they know is Michael Jordan is the Jordan shoe.
shoes. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
No, you're absolutely right. These kids, people forget that kids are a part of different generations, and like I said, I couldn't imagine Julius Irving, who was probably
mhm.
one of the greatest basketball players of the '70s, getting mad that people don't know who he is either. I mean, it's just they didn't grow up watching you. But yeah, man, I'm glad you put it that way. But like I said, he's turned into Don Imus, man. Not wanting people to talk to him in the studio, etc. But yeah, man, I'm glad though. Let me ask you a question real quick, and I want to go back to the Chicago cop. I heard what you said, and I can agree with you on that. Do you think that another reason why you don't really hear black women speaking out against this too is because of how attractive she is, or she was, unfortunately? And do you want me to explain that to a degree?
You can.
Okay, I'm not a female, as you all can tell. If I was, I would be a very ugly one. But correct me if I'm wrong here, but Sandra Bland was not an attractive female at all. She looked like Hakeem Olajuwon in the face, and she was about 6 foot tall. If you watch her arrest video, she's acting like a mammy. She's telling the cop what she gonna do, and we all know Sandra Bland. I believe she committed suicide, but people say she was killed. I have no idea. I'm not here to talk about how she died, but I feel like women were protesting more because it's a look thing, or even like with Breonna Taylor, she wasn't the most attractive female. She was an overweight black chick. I feel like if it would have been an attractive female, I feel like women would be like almost like happy at the fact that unfortunately she's gone, like she passed away, because it's like there's no competition anymore. There's no competition with like a Sandra Bland with women, but with a prettier chick, it's like, oh man, this is really morbid for me to say, but it's sort of like good. We didn't like her anyway. Type ment. Oh man, see, I'm trying to. I don't want to, because these girls are dead. Yeah,
Let me save your words. Let me
yeah,
save
okay,
your
because I
words
don't.
some
Yeah,
words.
okay, because I don't
Yeah,
want
let
to
me
get
as an Igbo man, you know, in Nigeria, I would say, let me save you some words so that
okay. There we go. There we
yeah.
go.
So put it this way: she's a police officer.
Yeah,
So that alone is detriment is the reason why the selective reaction. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Sandra Blunt is different because the reason why Sandra Blunt was is because it has to do with a police officer, arresting her at the first place. It also has to do with the fact that she's more of a hippie, a professor at the university. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So her case is something that, due to that position as an academia, it got picked up by different people. You see what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
picked up by different people because of her position in the community where she was.
Yeah.
That was at Bellevue University by Houston. So she was. I would say it's not because she was more attractive. It's just more of the position that she held in the society that attracted that kind of a reaction. Because look at it this way: if that police officer was a professor at University of Chicago,
Yeah.
no matter her looks, it would have been a national news, big
So
time.
you're saying with her looks, if she would have been a part of the BLM movement,
Of
she, and
yes,
you're saying it's still okay? Because the way I
because look
look
at
at it,
Sandra Blunt has dreadlocks. She has
yeah, she looks
dreadlocks,
like a
right?
mammy. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah,
She has all these things that presents her as your hippie
yeah, black.
looking black woman, and
Yeah,
also she had marijuana too in her
yeah,
system, you see.
yeah,
So she's everybody's everyday story.
yeah.
So you got to understand that most black community kind of identify with Sandra Blunt
Mm,
than the other lady. Yeah,
mm.
yeah,
Okay, I mean I can see where you're coming from because I have a lot of theories, but I feel like with a pretty female, it's almost like females can sit back and say she had it coming to her. And I feel like I don't know why I feel like a lot of females think like that for some reason, but I could be wrong on that.
yeah.
I could be
That's
wrong.
why I said police
Yeah,
officer, police
I
officer.
think
The
it's a
fact that
police
she's in
officer.
law
Okay.
of what
Yeah.
the law
Yeah.
enforcement. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up,
Mm.
Lord Giatron? Thank you so much, sir, for camming up and supporting the channel, man, and being a member. What's going on, man? What say you about any of the
Yo,
topics
peace,
we're
brother.
talking
How
about?
you doing, man?
I'm pretty good.
First,
Go
I
ahead,
just
sir.
want to tell you, man, I rocks with you, dog. Like, I rocks with you, man.
Yeah.
I want to
Thank you
send
so
a
much.
personal apology to Anton, the whole Lapeef Network, every member that's on y'all's panel, you,
What happened?
Miss Lucky Marie, Miss She's So Lucky. I think I owe her a major apology. I think I got her demonetized about 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna have that cash app flying that in soon. But
Okay. I mean, I don't know what happened,
um,
so you're good. You're good.
I was doing I was drinking alcohol during her live stream.
I don't think that's a. I don't think that's a. I don't think YouTube demonetizes that if you drink alcohol. But
I don't know what it was, but yo, regardless,
yeah,
there's a lot going on out here. It's funny you said that. Part of it was she's a cop. The little girl who
yeah,
got killed in Chicago. She's a cop.
yeah.
That's part of it. And the other part of it is her attractiveness.
That's what. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, like. So you know about the little controversy that's going on about the chick who won't mess with a dude unless he owns the bus company or owns the buses or whatever.
Something about Ebony Williams. I didn't really get into it, but I
Yeah,
know who he is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like the Eternal Sevens. The chick.
Okay.
Remember that talking point? Chicks getting called Eternal Sevens.
Okay. Sure. Yep.
I had an epiphany at work today because I left work early because it started raining and all that. But so it's this thing where we know most people live in our average. Most people are 4s, 5s, and 6s when it comes to looks and beauty and things of that nature, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even myself, I give myself a 5 on a good look. I'm 10s everywhere else because I'm so tall. I'm such a big dude. But
yeah.
you know what I mean? Other than that, like I don't esteem myself nothing special. I just put in a lot of work and work hard. And I shaved my hair. I'm bald again. I went back to the baldy. Anyway, forget about me. My point is, a lot of these women find insult, and a lot of them be baby mamas. A lot of them be 304s.
Yeah.
A lot of them be jizz drinkers, if you know what I mean. The free head girl, you know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm like, yo, honestly speaking, if you're an 8, 9, or a 10, I might not be your cup of tea, but a guy like me would have scooped you up by now. You're not gonna make it to 34 years old as an 8, 9, or 10 and still be single. You're not. So which means is, one, you fucked your life up by having those children because the child takes 2 points away off the rip, or 2, you're not an 8, 9, or 10. You're a 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that cop lady, she looked like she was an 8, 9, or 10. Still young, still.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but the reason why there's no backlash because all the BLM people, the overweights, the non-selects, the LGBTs, and all of those weirdos are hating on them.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are saying what I really can't say. I was trying. Okay, there you go. Go ahead, sir. There you go. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You got the floor. Go ahead. You know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah, they hating on her. That's why there's no backlash. Yeah. They're not backlashing the fact there was a black woman murdered. They're not bashing the fact there was a young black woman. The fact that she's a cop gives them all the more incentive to be glad she got killed. Like now, oh, that's good for her. She a cop anyway. Type nasty attitude.
Yeah.
Combined with the fact she's a cop, which means she is a hero, because there's only one group of people that's the number one most dedicated to protecting black people in this country. No fraternity, no organization, no political party, nobody is more dedicated and determined and committed to protecting black people in this country than this country's local police force and law enforcement agencies.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
And it took for me to be 34 years old, going on 35 years old, to realize that, but I understand it and I know it's the truth.
Yeah.
And whoever want can knock me or talk whatever, but facts is facts. You can't change the truth. It don't matter who's saying it. If it's the truth, it ain't my truth. I don't have a truth. I just know the truth. If it's the truth,
Lord Geotron. I knew a girl. She was insanely attractive. Insanely attractive. I'm talking about 11. This was like 10 years ago. Her associates, who were less attractive than she was, literally said this to a group of guys. Right now, her associates were decent looking girls, but this girl was about 5'10". I mean, gorgeous, about 120 pounds. Looks, I mean, I'm talking about facial symmetry. The girl was she's still beautiful now. Her associate said this, and I'm quoting. When she left out the room one day, we were all chilling. Her associate said, "She stinks. She smells like BO." And all the dudes were like, "Wait a minute, we never smelled her before. She don't stink." And to the point where we were second guessing ourselves as the dudes, like, "Damn, do she stink?" And every time every time she would come around, we would like try to smell. We're like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" And what it is lesser attractive females will try to we could say demonetize, or we could say put a negative aspect on someone because they have insecurities about themselves. And you are right. Those Black Lives Matter women are overweight. A lot of them are super unattractive. And they probably saw that girl because they know that situation happened with her. And they saw how good looking she looked. They said, "Oh, F that bitch." I know that they did it. I know it because I've been around even good looking girls and how they treat the best looking girl in the group. Let alone
Hey, look, some ugly fat joints.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, bro. Hey, this is a topic I can speak on all day, bro.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. No, you got it for.
Because, hey, and like, what is it gonna take, man? What is it gonna take? I know what it's gonna take. I know exactly what it's gonna take. It's gonna take a lot of compromise and a lot of pain and hurt. The only thing that's gonna save the black is only two things that can save the black community.
Yeah.
A lot of compromise and a lot of pain, or either a lot of violence, which is also gonna be painful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't call for violence. I don't call for violence because it's a losing battle both ways. We'll eradicate all our women and we'll be in prison because we did it. So, you know,
go ahead.
So we're going to have to start compromising with our women. Like, I love black women, bro. I prefer black women.
Yeah.
You know? And I just, the way I was brought up, I wasn't brought up being prejudiced and racist, things of that nature. I wasn't. But that's just my preference. I like black women. I like what I am. My mother's Chinese and black mix. My mother's Chinese and black mix. My father's Puerto Rican and Haitian mix.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a weird mix, but I call it black. You know what I mean?
Real quick, did you grow up listening to Howard Stern?
Nah, I'm 34, bro. I grew up.
So Howard
I grew up
Stern
listening to Dipset and the Game 50 Cent.
So Howard Stern is upset that the 20-year-old boys that play in the NBA, who were literally born in the year 2003, do not know who he is. And I find, and so J.R. Smith pretty much in a tweet said, hey, man, don't nobody know who you are because these are kids playing. These kids don't know who you are because you're not even relevant now. You weren't relevant even when they were born.
Yeah.
So
I heard when you were saying that earlier, bro. You still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, because my phone, I don't know what it is. My phone keep going dark. I'm on the highway now. I'm headed out to Seattle right quick.
Okay. Here, let me get Chicago Really in real quick, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. I was here. I had a point I wanted to make to you real quick. I can get out of the way. I can land the plane.
Oh, no, go ahead. Okay. I thought you said your phone was.
So what I was going to say was, Chicago back? My bad, Chicago.
No, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say was chaotic is it's funny that Howard Stern is saying some mess like that, and I'm glad J.R. Smith brought it out, but he missed the point. He missed a small caveat. Bro, Howard Stern, not only are you old and irrelevant, but you exalted yourself when you was in your head, when he was in his at his pinnacle. He exalted himself above everyone and made himself unapproachable. You feel what I'm saying? Who wants to know who the hell he is?
Exactly. I agree.
Hey, thanks, brother. Hey, I gotta drive, bro. I'm flying on the highway right now. Okay. I gotta drive the ball. I love y'all, bro. Peace.
All right. Peace. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna keep listening on YouTube though. I'm gonna keep listening, but I gotta get off the stream so I can drive.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, bro. Peace. Chicago Rilla.
Peace, brothers.
What's up? Peace. What's up, Rilla?
What's the word, Chaotic? I know you're gonna have something slick to say.
About what, sir?
I ain't said nothing yet, but I know it's something slick.
You must haven't been watching because I've been praising Chicago the entire time. I've been praising Ariana Preston, beautiful black girl who was gunned down by 5 demons. It's the minister's birthday in 2 days. I'm giving an early birthday shout out because I don't come on the Thursday shows. I'm praising Chicago, sir.
What other praise did you give up for Chicago? I mean, because I couldn't tap in with you, and I hate that I couldn't.
Well, I will admit, and I've always said this. I even did live streams about this. When I went to college, the prettiest girls I ever met were from Chicago, and a lot of people who have, Colin Cowherd, the reporter, said the same thing. He said the most beautiful women he's ever seen are from Chicago. So that's another good thing about Chicago. Y'all got some nice looking chicks.
Okay.
Yeah, because
outside of that, then what?
Because, like I said, if that. Oh, let me not make that joke. Oh, God in heaven.
Well, let me do this. So with the Howard Stern piece, I agree with what you just said with the caller. In terms of especially with J.R. Smith saying like, "Yo, cats don't even know who you are," right? So that's why I was saying the comments around Petey Green, and then if you bring up a Don Imus, like people don't know who Don Imus is, right?
Hell no.
One of the things I love this is the thing. This is why when I can salute you and give you your flowers, I really do, bro, because you the type of brother. When I lived in Georgia, when I lived in Atlanta, we probably would have had the best conversations, right? Because on my way home from work, and I had a 40-minute commute from Atlanta to Woodstock, Georgia. Okay, do you know who I listened to? 95.5 in Atlanta, and it was a conservative talk show, radio station. So I listened to Jesus Christ, Rush Limbaugh, Herman Cain, man, who's the other brother that passed? Prominent white dude in those conservative spaces, dude. Like all of those talk shows. No.
Tom Likas. Okay.
No. It was a white dude. He was older. He was along the same lines of Herman Cain.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Gosh, I can't Rush Limbaugh. But I think he may have been specific to that Georgia region. It'll come to me. As soon as I drop off the call, I promise you it's gonna come to me. I'm gonna be like, fuck.
You're good.
Anyway, the thing of
Which
this
which station was the guy? Which TV
Hey,
station?
95
Kenneth, you're
something.
breaking up for some reason. I don't know what's going on,
It's a
bro.
talk show. It's a talk radio show in Atlanta.
Oh, okay, I'm not gonna know
I
him.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I can't hear what bro is saying.
No, go ahead, Chicago brother.
Yeah, so I enjoy, like, people get me confused, fam. Like, I really do enjoy having conversations with people who I may not necessarily align with on everything, but when I see the angle or when we can have the discussion, then let's have the discussion. So I understand that with Howard Stern, it sounds similar to old heads, as these young boys said, and most of these cats that I have to deal with now are saying, like, yo, you want props or special treatment and you haven't earned it in our eyes. And what we don't understand, no, not Rush Limbaugh. It was another guy. What we, as old heads, what we have to do a better job with is passing the baton.
Yeah.
Don Imus did not pass the baton. So, like, even for Chicago, right? When I think about Tom Joyner, when I think about Doug Banks, you're looking at, like, the Steve Harveys of the world, the Ricky Smileys of the world. Who else? Oh, did I disappear? Oh,
No,
all
I'm
right.
trying to.
You went big screen. I'm trying to
Okay,
think of who. Jesus Christ, man. It's gonna bug me till I get to the end of the show. But here's the other thing I want to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Chicago is something people like to beat up on. And I know Chicago is something, like, for whatever reason, y'all really do think this is like the most violent city in the
It's not.
world.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So let's approach the death of this young lady from a practical standpoint.
Okay.
Okay. So you being former law enforcement, because I know part of your premise is, where's the outrage? Where's the protest? Then I would have to say, well, when's the last time we seen a Black Lives Matter anything here in Chicago? Right?
Yeah.
You haven't since George Floyd. And even if you go back to my social media page, like if you go back to my Facebook or maybe my Instagram, I'm driving through Roseland and I'm on 10 because people that look like me are, like, decimating the neighborhood. But you know what I seen at the end of 111th in Michigan? Cops, police, just standing there. They didn't want to get involved. And I do understand Lightfoot came out and said, I think the order was for them to stand down and all this other stuff, whatever, whoop-de-woo, right? You talk about the death of this young lady, bro. We're still trying to find Kiara Coles. Kiara Coles is the postal worker who came up missing, like, almost 3-4 years ago. We still ain't found her. And granted, she was pregnant with baby, bro. Like, we're still trying to figure that part out. So here's my question to you, Chaotic. You being a man who says, yo, I was involved with law enforcement. If nothing else, and the wall, the brotherhood, sisterhood that law enforcement have, what do you think the temperature is of Chicago police right now around the tragic loss of this young lady? What do you think they doing right now? How do you think they feel right now?
Well, obviously the case has gone cold, so I don't think.
No, not Kiara Coles. I'm sorry. Let me be clear. Not Kiara
Oh.
Coles, the young lady, the cop.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm shocked, honestly, that those demons made it out the house alive during that standoff, to be honest with you. But I'm pretty sure that they are really pissed off. They're on high alert right now. I can only assume, but what say you? Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I just from knowing what I know, the people that I know, the things that you may know but you can't say. Somebody like you that's been affiliated. I'm not affiliated, right? So no, they on 10, bro.
Yeah,
they on 10 right now, right?
Yeah.
And so here's the other thing. things that happen in the city do not get broadcasted all the time. It doesn't, bro. It may get broadcasted locally. It doesn't trend nationally about, like groups like the Interrupters. Right now, that's a PBS special. You have to go to NPR, PBS, look up the Interrupters in Chicago, and that'll give you an idea about 3 different people, represent 3 organizations who intervene on the behalf of violence. Phil Jackson, not the basketball coach, the pastor over there in Woodlawn, Woodlawn over on the west side, who specifically has programs for the youth over there. Right. This is what I'm saying. These are the things that don't get picked up, bro.
Right. But really, let me ask you a question. And I got you. But a lot of us are from Chicago, and you're getting too into local establishments, incidents. Yeah, and I don't know. But let me ask you.
But let me ask you this. Go ahead. Ask me that, and then I got a question.
Ariana Preston. Mm-hmm. If Ariana Preston looked like Harriet Tubman in the face, would black women be in uproar about her death?
Will black women be in uproar? I know where you're going with that. I don't necessarily. I think to be honest, I think the sisterhood is the sisterhood. They gonna ride for. They gonna ride regardless, whether you look like Harriet Tubman, Lizzo.
How come they're not riding for her? How come they're not riding for her? She's a part of the sisterhood,
right? And that's what I'm saying, bro. See, when I said things don't get picked up, and you said, well, you reporting locally. Right. I'm pretty sure there's some things that go on in your area that probably should make national news, but doesn't. There are a ton of things that go on in Atlanta that should make national news, but it doesn't.
But this would happen. Okay. The incident that happened with Ariana should make national news because Chicago is a major city. Not only is it a major city, it has a strong economy. I think it's number 5 or 6 in the country.
Probably, yeah.
She's a part of one of the most famous institutions, particularly law enforcement institutions in America outside of the NYPD. This is major. This is absolutely major.
Sure.
And what I keep saying is, we non-Chicagoans. Yes, we believe that Chicago is as a criminal hub. Now,
sure.
With that being said, you from Chicago, you're telling us that it's not. I can only listen to you. But what I'm saying is that this is a problem, and I really believe that Ariana could be the face of a movement, just like George Floyd was the face of the quote unquote police brutality movement. Well, Ariana should be the face of a movement, and the movement is we have to address the black on black violence in America.
Yikes. That
I believe is the number 1 issue in America. That's what I believe. Now, I don't know what anybody else believes, but that's what I believe. A police officer should never be gunned down in that manner. A police officer, a beautiful woman like that should never. That's what I believe. Bro, are there other cases in Chicago? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, the only thing I was going to ask you is, since the top of the year, do you know how many deaths we've had from like either police or first responders or anything like that has not made national coverage? This is what I'm saying, bro. When you talk about George Floyd, and I've heard you wax poetic around George Floyd, right? And I think one of the things that you believe is that it didn't deserve the coverage nor the outrage that it got. And I wouldn't disagree with you, bro. To be honest, I would not disagree with you, right?
Yeah.
But this state that we're in, like this country that we're in, it's the news cycle. This is why I watch Fox as much as I watch MSNBC, as much as I watch CNN, and it's all the same sides of the same coin to me. I mean, even when I watch NPR and PBS, like I have to chew the meat and spit the bones, right? So what I'm saying with that is, bro, the news, when we get news disseminated to us, I gotta be able to parcel that out and see what's what. And because I've lived in 3 cities, really 4, but I've lived in 3 cities. I get news from all of those cities, right? I have connections in Detroit, Atlanta, and obviously I'm back in Chicago. when I watch the news in Atlanta, I can make the distinction in terms of what's happening. The part that I can't figure out is why it's not getting as much coverage in Chicago. There is more shit going on in Atlanta, way more shit going on in Atlanta than what's going on in Chicago.
No, I agree with you.
But you know what they will have you to believe? Chicago is the wasteland. And here's the question that I would ask you, Chaotic. If Chicago has been the wasteland since Trump was in office, which is what, 2016? Why they ain't did shit yet?
Again, you have liberal cities with liberal politicians, liberal. You have wealthy businessmen, George Soros.
And now you talking my language. Okay, go ahead.
You have these backed DAs by George Soros. Got it in New York with Alvin Bragg. You have DAs that drop cases on criminals, release individuals who've committed crimes early, don't even prosecute half the time. You have a city in rampant violence. I know you put in Trump for a reason, but
no.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that the problem that hasn't been tackled is these cities don't have councilmen, councilwomen, mayors like myself that will literally say the problem in this city is black people. That's what I would.
On that. My bad.
I understand you disagree. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that that's the problem, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but what we do have is we have evidence of people who have gotten into positions of power and they have stopped certain behavior. I did a 4-hour show on President Bukele in El Salvador. Got in there 4 years later, the murder rate has dropped significantly.
Yeah, I heard you speak on that.
In Salvador because he has addressed the problem instead of sugarcoating it. And the problem in America is that people are afraid to say America has a black problem. And they need black people who are intellectuals to say it. Really, if this was Japan and the Japanese youth were running around offing each other, often old Japanese women in astronomical numbers, do you think that the Japanese people say, "Oh, that's just a part of our culture"?
No, absolutely
Japanese crime.
No, absolutely not. But their culture is different too, and this is the other thing, Chaotic. And I know you run the show, and
you go ahead.
But this discussion is so deep and nuanced, bro. Like you and I. Anyway, you and I could have a whole conversation on the Midwest and the reverse migration, right?
Yeah.
So when you talk about a black problem, what I'm speaking to, or what I'm bringing, or what I'm highlighting is, and this is why I get pissed off when people talk about Chicago without factoring in everything else, because that's what's highlighted on national news, right? So let's say, for anybody that travels throughout the United States, and you staying in your hotel, right? Do you know how surprised I was to get into Scottsdale, Arizona, and hear the same problems that are plaguing Scottsdale, Arizona is the same way I could turn on the news in Chicago and hear the exact same motherfucking thing? You don't think that's coincidence?
But really.
Oh, okay, fair enough. My bad.
Really. Listen. You
don't find issue with that? Yes or no?
I have issues.
Okay.
I have issues with people saying that these situations happen in white communities or non-black communities. I do have issues with that.
Oh, no. When I say I was traveling to Scottsdale, bro, no, the news that was being reported in Scottsdale was not around. It wasn't around white. So I'm not saying that. So I don't want you
around.
They were reporting on black people.
Of course they are. You know why? I would say if you went to Utah and they reported on black people, and even though Utah is 99% white, I would focus on the blacks because, sir, we have a bad track record everywhere. Hear me out. I'm talking on behalf of what I've seen in nigga nature. Everywhere we've gone, we destroy. I've seen neighborhoods in my lifetime.
My
lifetime.
Yes, sir.
Destroyed by niggas. Not white people, not other groups of people. I'm talking about nice communities, sir, that look like third world countries right now. And I'm so glad that a lot of my friends from childhood watch when I'm on Lapeef and watch when I'm on my channel. Blue Cousin is my best friend in real life. We've been friends for 20 years. He's in the chat. He and I have seen communities destroyed by niggas. Yeah. And you know why? There's a famous story I always tell about, and I don't know if he's still listening. But if Blue Cousin, you sit in the chat, please let these niggas know. Blue Cousin and me, 10 years ago. Maybe it was a little bit more than 10 years ago. I'm at his house. We're hanging out, drinking some beer. We hear, we're like, what the fuck? What is that? We go outside. They've planted baby trees. I don't know the name of it. Ma, tell me out here. What do they call a baby tree? They've planted, premature trees or growing trees. All in the neighborhood. We go outside to see what this noise was. It's about 3 15-year-old black boys destroying the new tree. Yep. Now, somebody can say, well, they're just being kids. No. But the problem is that when it's black kids, if me and my friend being 20-something at the time were to go out there and ragdoll these kids,
it's a problem.
We would be in trouble.
Yep.
If you call the cops and the cops come and accidentally shoot one of these kids, then we in the media, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Had those been white kids and you call the police or beat them up, hey, you dummy shouldn't have been doing that, Bob. What are you doing out here?
Right.
But when it comes to black kids, the community protects the dummies, the little badass bastards. The media protects them. Organizations protect them. That's why I say if they're reporting black stuff in Scottsdale, if I was the producer at the food station there, I would tell them do it tenfold because wherever these people go, they destroy. That's what it is.
No, that's the only part. No,
if black people if black people in droves move to Bozeman, Montana, it will look like Mogadishu, Somalia within 5 years. Sir, we have a problem and nobody wants to talk about it because we don't want to admit the truth.
Let me ask you this, Chaotic, and I don't want to monopolize the panel.
No, you're good. You're asking a good question. Go ahead.
Keenan may want to get in here, or brother Afro Nerd may want to get in here. So I don't want to monopolize the panel, right?
Go ahead.
Okay, so with all this education, all these, well-to-do blacks, the blacks who want to align, the blacks who will do well and assimilate into society, right? No, you're shaking your head already. I think you know.
I already know where you're going with it, and I talked about it.
No. I'm curious because one of the things that I also think about, and this is what pisses me off with Atlanta at times. There's a lot of I talk about the Theo Huxtable thug a lot. There's a lot of well-to-do blacks in Atlanta, and their offspring, for whatever reason, just want to be. The John Morants of the world, right? The John Morants, right? So here's my thing. When we point certain things out, I agree with you, bro. I'm here at the crib and I'm looking at the after effects of them tearing down the projects, not having a real plan, them locking up all these gang leaders. You can say whatever you want about gangs. One thing I will say about Chicago is two things. Well, actually, it's two things. Number one, we've never Chicago has never had Bloods and Crips or an infiltration of gangs from another space. Chicago gang problem is unique in and of itself. The other thing is those gangs had leaders and there was consequences and repercussions, and there was a code of conduct where women, children, and elders were off limits. When they eliminated the leaders, these shorties do not listen to anything. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
I get what you're saying with the problem of a particular group of blacks in these in America, period. I get that. I ain't oofy goofy. I understand that. It's one of the things that I'm passionate about and I combat against. And I work specifically with young men around, trying to get them to elevate their mind state. But the other clarion call to me is like, if we have these leaders, or if we have these black folk who have went off to do, and they went to school and they went to a PWI or HBCU and they've attained this level of achievement, then why isn't that? Because if the trickle down theory is correct, then why isn't that trickling down to the other blacks?
Again, I said it yesterday when I was blacking out about this beautiful girl. The elite blacks, the blacks in the fraternities, the sororities, the Jack and Jill, the educated amongst us, we advocate for the degeneracy. We are accomplices for the degeneracy.
Oh, break this down.
You know why? Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, break this down. I got to hear this. You're right.
You know why?
I need to hear this.
I will tell you. I'll tell you a personal story. And I said it yesterday on my show. My fraternity brother, he's older. He's about, he got to be in his 60s now. He's the principal of a charter school I'm at. He's educated. The CEO of the school is also my fraternity brother. He's an older guy too. He has a PhD. The principal, he's asking me, why is my classroom out of control? This was like a 6th grade classroom. You know what I told him? And I didn't use the boy's name because I never use people's real name. Let's just call the kid Tom. Tom was 14 years old in this classroom with these kids. 14-year-olds should be in the 9th grade. So the little dummy was held back twice.
Yep.
He's in the classroom. He's bigger than the other kids. He's bullying the boys because he's bigger than them. Not torturing them, but, roughing them up. He's messing with the little girls. He's being a constant disruption in class. You know what happens? The 28 other kids that are in the classroom, they are on 10 because of this one kid. This one kid is the cancer in the classroom. My fraternity brother, he comes to me and says, well, what's wrong with the class? It's you, and it's me and a white teacher in there, female. I tell him, I said, well, Tom, he's the problem. My fraternity brother has a second meeting with me and the teacher, who's a white lady. And now in the meeting is a black female who's the assistant principal. So they say again, well, what's the problem in the classroom? Well, the problem is Tom. He's disruptive. He doesn't care about classroom rules and order. He needs to get out of, now, quite honest with you, bruh, he needs to be out of this school. This school is not conducive for him. He actually needs to have a football in his hand because the kid was built. The kid was built.
Yep.
And my fraternity brother asked the white teacher to leave out the office. Now, my fraternity brother's about 6'4", and the nigga was like in his late 50s. I'm a small dude, so he stands up. He walks over to me, say, bruh, don't you ever in your life say, not advocate for no black boy in front of no white woman. And the silly dilly female, who's black too, the assistant principal, she's saying the same thing. So I got 2 dumb Negroes hollering and screaming at me about this one little black kid who's a deviant. They don't care about the 28 other kids. And they said, you think you're better than the bad kids because you didn't grow up like them. I said, what are y'all talking about? These kids didn't grow up in my goddamn D-shoe. These kids all grew up in America. These kids had silver spoons in their mouth just because they're just by birth alone. Anyway, they kept the boy in the classroom. The classroom stayed in constant disorder. And they eventually got rid of me.
Wait, they eventually got rid of you?
Of course.
Okay. I just want to make sure I heard.
They eventually got rid of me. And there was another incident. It was another incident with a badass kid. Again, they are advocating for the badass kid.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They're not paying attention to the 28
That's
black
impacted.
kids
Yep.
that are doing good, that are doing the work, that are studious, etc. And that is a microcosm example of a much larger problem. That's the problem.
No. Listen, I don't disagree with you, bro, because my sister-in-law is she's in the system. Her guy is the crazy thing is her guy is former CPD, but he's also in CPS, Chicago Public Schools. And then one of my classmates, my high school classmates, alumni, I hear these stories all the time, bro. I don't envy what you guys have to deal with in these schools. And I also know what it meant for my boys to see a black male teacher in their school. This was in my kids are in Georgia. So I know what that means to see a strong black male presence giving guidance and instruction outside of me. So I'm with you on that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I know how you approach. I think I know. I don't want to say like I know you personally. I just, I pay attention to what you say and how you move, bro. And I'm just like, man, how can we get to solutions? Because
the solution,
again, in Chicago, even the charter schools are not performing. Go ahead, my bad.
I'm just saying the solution is, and that's why I brought up that story, is here goes my fraternity brother, 2 of them. These are the best of blacks.
Right.
Essentially, they are accomplices. Maybe not now, but that boy, oh, definitely he's going to be robbing a church lady in about 10 years. He's going to be carjacking in about 5 years. See, they've already gave him the green light. You could act a fool all you want. And you know why? Because every ass in those seats is money that the school gets. And the charter school would rather have that kid in their school than him go back to his home school. So it's all a money game here. And a lot of black intellectuals and elites, they start nonprofits. I'm calling people out. They start nonprofits. I know people. I know, man, I'm just be honest with you. I know women who are educated, black women. They've started doulas. They've started programs for women, for single mothers, like nonprofits. They're making bank. And they are relying on a continued cycle of ignorance. You know why they started programs for single moms? Because they already know, hey, man, these women going to have all the kids out of wedlock like they want. So this is going to be free money for us. Same thing, man. And I am always going to be the whistleblower on the intellectual blacks and on the niggas. Because what happened with that girl is a problem. And you can stop it from the beginning if you have black leaders like myself. Hey, man,
I don't disagree with that.
We catch you loitering. Dude, I couldn't be a mayor of a city, man. I couldn't do it because it would be a dictatorship. It'd be a dictatorship. Let me read the super chat. Your sports now with the $5 super chat says, do you think if the kid looked like Rick Fox, Patrick Mahomes, they would have said something? Was he rough looking? He was very rough looking. He was a very rough looking kid. Yeah, very rough looking. Yeah. But you said, do you think if the kid looked like Rick Fox or Patrick Mahomes, they would have said something to him? You mean would they have corrected his behavior?
Or gave him a pass?
Gave him a pass? I mean, technically they gave him a pass anyway because he stayed in the damn school.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he probably did look like Rick Fox or Patrick Mahomes, they probably would have. I don't know, man.
Did you ever watch Waiting for Superman?
Never.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
That sounds like some black stuff. No.
Well, it's around education reform. It's actually around education reform and charter schools. I think you would enjoy it.
Look, life's truth, the poet. Why don't you just call into the show, man? Call in. Yeah, call in. Yeah, you ain't gotta keep writing in the chat. If you got a problem, call in, man.
That's the only thing I hate sometimes, K.I., to be honest. It took me a minute though to get used to you too. You are respectfully an acquired taste.
when you're speaking to people who still operate on Stone Age, I'm gonna be honest with you, really, and I think that you're a unique person, to be honest with you. You know, we are really operating on modern human beings right now. We're still operating like how hunters and gatherers operated. We just live in modern times. You know, it was only 150 years ago. People didn't have cars. There were no, there were no, there were no cruise liners. There were no jets.
Right.
You know, we're still kind of like primitive, really, for real. If you sit back and think about it, these computers are just light boxes, really, it's just zeros and ones. The problem is that a lot of people are still using old operating systems and still functioning in life like that.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of these kids are never pushed to operate on first world or on civilization one thinking, right? So they are encouraged to act like what their ancient ancestors were acting like, animals, primitive man, hunters and gatherers, operating off of illogic, operating off of emotion. I mean, imagine how a village in Africa was 1,000 years ago, how ignorant it was. And somebody may say, well, what's the evidence of that? All you got to do is look at the blacks in Papua New Guinea. All you got to do is look at the blacks who still had those plates in their fucking lips. That's how you know how ignorant ancient man really was. They're stupid. And that's the that's the evidence in itself. So a lot of these kids, give me a second, sorry. A lot of these kids are still, a lot of black people are still operating on an old operating system in the 21st century. That's why a lot of times when you talk to most blacks, all they talk about is slavery. They can't think of nothing else. It was slavery. It was Jim Crow. They still thinking about something that they didn't even go through. It's if the mind doesn't change, then the culture doesn't change.
I agree with you, bro.
Ignorant niggas, man. They're ignorant. And people in this chat and people on YouTube call me the Uncle Tom. They say if they saw me that they would attack me, but they won't attack the demons that shot this beautiful black woman because they are still functioning off of a plate in the lip mindset.
Right.
We gonna get you. You talk about the black people. I'm like, what are you talking about? This girl just got killed. They just blew her fucking head off, and you talking about? I don't know if they did that. I shouldn't have said that. But you're talking about I'm the problem in the community, and that's why the Jews, that's why the Chinese, that's why the Japanese, they're going into space. The Chinese have made impressive inroads in technology. All you gotta do is look at their culture. The Japanese have semiconductors that we all rely on, technology, and niggas are doing that. That's the difference. But they don't want a black man like me to get national and say these things because it will force the culture to look at themselves in the mirror. And a lot of blacks don't want to do that. A lot of blacks just want to sit around, smoke weed, and watch Netflix all day.
But everybody ain't gonna go
watch Power. Keep it real.
Listen, let me say this, and I'm gonna drop down, bro, so you could do the rest of your show, man. I appreciate you, number one, bringing me up. You always entertain my shenanigans. But when I tell you, I really do enjoy your perspective.
Thank you.
I really do. Sometimes you give I feel the same as a lot of people, right? Like sometimes I'm like, what the did he just say? And then other times I'm like, okay, let me chew the meat and spit out the bones on what bro is really selling. I mean, not selling, saying. And this is the part that I think people miss with you. If you didn't care, you don't have to say anything, right? No. I think you actually, when you lay out your credentials, I think the next question becomes, okay, well, if he's disqualified, he's an alpha, he went to, and I'm not saying like alpha male. I know your fraternity. Right. So I'm just saying for people who to the uninitiated, right? They'll listen to you and be like, oh, that's Carlton Banks. And it's like, no, you got to listen to what bro is saying and then use the left side of your brain to sift through it.
Just what you said right there. And I don't want you to talk about her. I'll do the talking about her for you.
Stop. I'm finna drop down.
Now, this stupid idiot, Six the Goddess, who supposedly loves the black community, she thought it was an insult to call me Carlton Banks. Now, here goes Carlton Banks, the character. He's well-to-do. He handles his money well. He's highly educated. I think at the end of the series, he was going to Yale for his master's degree. Six the Goddess is such a degenerate, just like most black women with this mindset. She literally sat up there and said, "Oh, I'm going to get him. I'm going to call him Carlton Banks." Because most black people view Carlton Banks as a lame or a loser. But here goes the thing. The Carlton Banks are running society.
That's a fact.
Not niggers. Niggers don't run society. Carlton Banks run the military. They run every industry that you can think of. Niggers don't run society. So I would love to be called a Carlton Banks every time. Because I don't want to be a nigger. And that's what a lot of blacks are to me, are niggers. And what she said, sir, is the reason why I go tenfold on blacks, man. Because we have a screwed up culture and a screwed up mentality. That's where fair. People can get mad at what I say, but rappers for 40 years have been saying some of the most egregious things ever. And it's fascinating that the black man who talks about the idiosyncrasies in the community are the ones that are vilified. But I challenge any black person, any black content creator, other than me and Black Gen Z and Black Conservative Perspective, who made a video about that poor black girl who got shot and killed? Nobody. Nobody did. That's what I'm saying. But I rock with what you're saying too, Richland. Thank you so much, man.
No, I appreciate you. And I'm gonna drop down, bro. But just to give you your flowers again, real quick, G. Yeah. You doing your thing, man. You really do challenge a lot of people to use the left side of their brain and think differently. If they can get past their emotion, and the men in particular, man. Chaotic. Honestly, in all honesty, bro, like. The reason why I run around, I say, L7, Simp, Beta, Host Stud, all that other stuff. I had the best of both worlds, right? Like in high school, I took honors and AP classes.
Go ahead.
I actually dumbed myself down to fit in.
Because you were around blacks.
Correct.
Yeah.
But do you know in the space
being
that I work,
is a part of black culture.
No, I agree with you, bro. This is what I'm saying. The area that I work, it's the south. I mean, it's the deep south suburbs of Chicago. I may be one of like the population of blacks that's in the community that I work is like less than 5%. Okay. There's a whole culture of kids coming. There are 3 high schools there. There are 3 high schools there. All of them look like college campuses.
Yeah.
Okay? Who do you think funds? Well, actually, I know you know the answer to this. Could you explain to the audience, if I'm in a community and these schools are maybe, let's say, 5 to 10 miles apart, and I'm telling you there's 3 of them, who's funding that? Chaotic. Who's funding the schools that look like college campuses?
I mean, the neighborhood, right? I mean, the
community. Right.
Yeah.
Property tax. Not only that, the people in that community are giving back to those schools.
So what are you saying?
No. I'm just contrasting. I'm adding on to your point, actually.
Oh, okay.
In terms of our mindset has to change, and we have to start advocating for the Carlton Banks, because in all actuality, that street mentality, like the way that I can maneuver both worlds, I could maneuver in Chicago, and it's how I maneuver in Chicago. But that doesn't get me where I need to be from where I'm working. Where I'm working, there's a whole culture of kids that come into my cafe and they literally have like study parties.
Yeah, those must be Asian. Must be Asian kids or white kids.
I'm not gonna say that.
Let's be honest, man. I'm not
gonna say the ethnicity, but chaotic. You know exactly
what they are. They're not. Yeah, we know who they are.
They're having study parties, bro. And then I'm asking them like, yo, so what are y'all working on? What's going on over here? What y'all got? Man, they're studying. I don't even know the type of math they studying these days, bro. The stuff they be telling me, I'm like, wow, that's quite interesting. I can't help you with that, but good luck. You know what I mean? And when you talk to them about their future aspirations, it's clearly defined on where these are 15, 60-year-olds, bro.
Because I'm telling you, man, especially with Chinese, these people, man, they were literally living in rural conditions 70 years ago. These Chinese, man, they have mega cities now, man. It's insane. These people are thinking about 100, 200, 500 years from now. Man, I'm telling you, man, we are about to be left. We're going to get left behind, man. That's the most terrifying thing about it, man. And I feel like that's why it's a duty for people like me and Anton and so many other blacks to say these things, man. That's what I really feel. But let me get go ahead, bro. Then I get
go ahead, bro. I'm dropping off, man. Enjoy your man. Have a good show, bro. I appreciate you as always, my G. Peace.
Afro, thank you so much, brother. Afro Nerd, what say you about this poor black girl who was gunned down, sir? Afro Nerd. I don't know where he's at. Afro Nerd, are you there?
Yeah, I think they took himself off. Okay. He has to maybe Meg have to go back and come back because he just unmuted himself, but we can't hear.
Hold on for a second. Let me say something real quick. Look, Life Truth Podcast. He says, I could care less that you have a conservative outlook, but you too smart to articulate yourself and disrespect man. But I get your what Ebony said as a professional disruptor. Listen, life's true. Look, man, we don't have time for words that make people feel good. I used to do that. I used to give a lot of data and facts. I don't do that anymore. You can't do that with blacks. You gotta be brutal. You gotta say what's on your mind, sir. Pull your pants up. See, when Bill Cosby said it just like that, oh, what? See, Bill Cosby was always giving people gems in the Cosby Show. He was trying to. I don't know if anybody ever watched the Cosby Show, but I used to be in love with the Cosby Show. He had an example one day about what was her name? Was it Denise? No, not Denise. The dark skinned one. What was her name? I can't think of her name on the show. But anyway, she had brought home the darker skinned black dude and said that's my fiance. Cosby had never seen the guy before, and the mother never seen him before, so it was a shock to them. And he said, "You're a nice guy. You're intelligent. You're well-to-do. But if I made a steak dinner and put it on a garbage can tray that was new, would you eat it?" Yes, that's a nice way of presenting how people should act with decorum. But a lot of people don't get those types of analogies. But when he said just flat out, pull your damn pants up. See, that's when Negroes took it to heart. They're like, what? Why he say that like that? And I bet you a lot of people pulled the damn pants up. He didn't have to use no analogies and theories. And that's what you got to do with a lot of people. You got to say the truth. Afro Nerd, what's up? Afro Nerd, what's up, man? Okay, go ahead, Kenny, because I don't know what's going on, Afro Nerd.
Yeah, so put it this way. What we have to understand is this. When you don't become brutal, you send the wrong message. You see what I'm saying? Because brutality is the message. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So if the mistake that Cosby Show did was Cosby was trying to modify his truth to the network or networks that aired the Cosby Show. So he had to modify it. He had to sugarcoat the language. You see what I'm saying? He had to tune it down, but the message was lost.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So the message
Yeah.
was lost because of that. He shouldn't have done it. He should have been brutal. But when he decided to go on air and be brutal, he went to jail. So you see, so this is what we have to understand as men. Mhm. When you are bringing up your daughter, what does daughters say? Black daughters. Oh, my dad was my best friend. My dad was everything. You know why? Because the dad was gentle. He sugarcoat the truth. He massaged the truth. He romanced the truth. And she loved her father for that because he became feminine in his delivery. But guess what is going to happen? If he was masculine with his delivery, oh, he abused my mom. He abused me. He was not a good father. He was toxic dad. I hated his ass because he was not good. How many times we hear that on the show of girls talking bad things about their father, and then you ask them, "Was your dad? Did your dad did anything that has to do with child molestation?" No, he didn't. So what are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? Because we have raised spoiled brats.
Yeah.
We have raised spoiled brats. So the spoiled brats are mad when you talk the truth.
Yeah.
But guess what? Not every woman is like that, because some women understand the truth.
Yeah.
They know the brutality of the truth. And guess what they do? They actually pay attention because they want to learn. But the unfortunate thing is that it's not many of them out there that want to learn. Many of them out there want to be babysitted. And it's a problem because we cannot babysit people like this anymore. The black community has to now start speaking the truth. We got to, because I got to tell you, in the next 20 years, we are doomed.
I hope not. Oh God, I hope not.
I hope you gentlemen can hear me now.
Oh yeah, I hear you now, Afro Nerd.
Okay.
The only way we cannot be doomed is what? We have to start speaking the truth.
Akine, do me a favor. Come back in real quick because your mic is real choppy. Dang, I can't. Yeah, come back in, okay, Akine?
Okay.
Yep. I don't know what's going on with this mic. Afro Nerd, what say you about this poor, beautiful black girl that was unfortunately gunned down, sir?
Well, listen, it's rough, man. You know, when I first got into the social media space years ago, I came out similar to you, where I spoke in a certain tone, and the funny thing is that Chicago was also in my crosshairs. I would say that maybe we need to have martial law to address what's happening in Chicago. Now, when I brought that up, I got a little bit of course, pushback. But I mean, how long are we going to allow certain things to be acceptable? This is about the value of black life, and if it were any other ethnicity, someone would intercede. Scotland, of all places, you can change the pigmentation. Scotland had a problem. They had a thug problem that has famously in the last couple of years been diminished because they actually, I mean, very similar. You know, they have thugs over there, white thugs, white gangsters, the whole thing. Scotland is not that dissimilar from Camden, New Jersey, New Jersey, or Richmond, or Chicago, or Memphis. You can name any of these major cities, and there's a segment of black people that are in dire straits that are being terrorized by intraracial urban terrorism. That's what it's called. It's intraracial urban terrorism. Now, doing heavy thinking on this, because I'm like you, I'm obsessed with this. The problem, I think, is that you're probably not going to hear too much about a resolution to it because, believe it or not, the mainstreaming of gun violence is at such a high level. What's happening with black people is actually going to be overshadowed. If you have a Texas mall that's being laid out, Like every week, we're hearing monstrous death, and what's happening with black people might take a second seat to that. I want to get your impressions on that. I think at one time, maybe within the last, let's say 5 years ago, you could talk about black people with a great deal of intensity. A black, let's be specific, the black urban tier. We have to use quantifiers when we talk about black people. We can't just have this mass thing. I'm very reluctant to say black people this, black people that. They're even in Chicago. Chicago really could probably talk about this. I have friends in Chicago as well. There's a few blocks of problems. Like there's actually wealthy areas of black people in Chicago. Wealthy black neighbor. I think Bronzeville is historically black district. I have some clients in that area, and I heard a black woman speaking. This is a true story, and this is every once in a while I'm surprised. And I Googled her house. She's living in a mansion, and I did some further research. It's a black neighborhood, black suburban neighborhood. They have black suburban enclaves like Prince George's County.
Yeah.
So we have to be very mindful of talking about a certain segment of the black community, as you would say, that's problematic. We can't put that label on all black people. We got to be these black people are doing that versus the black folks like you and I that are going about our business. Matter of fact, even the working class black folks in these communities don't represent the Pookies and the Ray Rays. They are the victims, the elderly, the young. Regrettably, this young officer, her life is gone. And I mean, again, to go back to your original question, I feel for her, but she's really not that distinctive for any other collateral damage victim under the assault of intraracial urban terrorism.
Yeah.
There's no other way to describe it.
Where are the, and you broke that down so good, and I'm going to have to use that, intraracial urban terrorism. I like that. Where are the black women, sir? Black content creators, actors or actresses, black women athletes. I understand what you were saying, but where are they at, sir? How come they're not talking about this poor girl?
Well, look, I have a tendency to be verbose, but I'm going to tell it to you how I know it or how I see it. You're in a space now, an unprecedented time, where black women have their own separate culture.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's keep it 1,000.
Yeah,
they are separate from black men in many regards. They're sponsored to be separate from us. Many, well, not that much long, not that many years ago, not that many years ago, you actually had a black community where black women didn't necessarily speak in singular tones. When many of us saw the what was it, the plan that Ice Cube had for Black America, and he was on that Fox show with Lisa Ray and all of them, and when he presented this plan, he said, "I'm going to present this plan to Black America to the presidential nominees at the Biden and Trump. I don't care left or right. I don't really care." They didn't care about the component of that plan. They were complaining. What does it say about black women? And he said, "Well, this is about the black family. Aren't you a part of the black family?" No, they want a specific redress for black women singularly. So you're asking the black elite celebrities. Malcolm spoke about the black celebrities 60 years ago. I don't know if they should even. I mean, I wouldn't trust them. We know that they're used as kind of a cudgel for what's going on with black people. They're minstrels. They really are. I mean, look, I've mentioned this a few times on your show before. When you have someone like Maxine Waters, who gave cover to Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion was even shaking in her on her video a little bit. She was like, "Oh, I'm speaking to Maxine Waters. This is a prolific California politician and all that." And she said, "Calm down. calm down. I'm not judging you. I'm going to say what you did was audacious.
I
Now,
remember.
so
Yeah.
so when that goes down, you're not going to get it. You're in a whole different reality. And I've said to you before, when the Clintons allow Megan to wax prolific while she's painting in their garden, that's the setup. Black folks are not what we are allowing a programming to, and have been allowing a programming like Leni Riefenstahl from Germany. You know, where we are being programmed in this kind of lower tier segmentation. Years ago, many of my heroes, the Adam Clayton Powells, the Dr. Kings, the Malcolms, the H. Rat Browns, you had a whole bunch of quite masculine men who were speaking truth to power. Some of them, regrettably, are in the grave.
Yeah.
But that kind of outspokenness, you mysteriously do not see that anymore. Now they have been replaced with utter minstrels, and somehow we're okay with it as a collective. I'm not comfortable with it. Someone should be shutting down the content what these people spat out 24/7 every day. It's just okay. We're not going to be taken seriously until we address. No other ethnicity is going to allow themselves to degrade themselves to make a dollar the way that many of our black entertainers have been set up to do. You're not going to see the Jewish community. You're not going to see Jerry Seinfeld being asked a question the way that Ja Rule, like Dave Chappelle said, Ja Rule's not going to be asked a serious question. I mean, Seinfeld's not going to be asked a serious question like Ja Rule would be. But we are consistently, in the aggregate, black people are consistently positioned to be trolled by white elites.
Let me ask you this. You've seen Ariana Preston. The girl was a very attractive girl.
Yes.
If she looked like a Klingon in the face, do you think it would have been an uproar for her? Do you?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if it really bears merit because she was a police officer, and you know this to be true. I've heard you say it, that there's a line of thinking in urban centers that you don't really give quarter to the police. You know, okay. I've seen black policemen. I'm a New Yorker. I've seen black policemen that were tragically killed in a very heinous ways, oftentimes by men that look like them. And the street folks say, well, he was a pig. So I don't know if her beauty is gonna. I mean, I think that you have black women's culture that would ride for her, because Nicki Minaj and these people can do no wrong. Nicki Minaj, again, think about who this person is. Nicki Minaj's father was killed I think maybe a year ago, local to my area, Long Island. He was walking across the street. Some white man killed him as a pedestrian. He got out the car, looked at him, and got back in his car. Her husband, we know that he's a criminal, sex offender, as is her brother.
Why did the white dude kill Nicki Minaj's father?
He was I can't say if it was intentional, but her father may or may not have been intoxicated. I think this was in Roslyn, Long Island, which is not that far from me. And he was walking, might have been poorly lit, and he was you can look it up. He was killed as a pedestrian, but the killer, well, the person that drove the car,
hit and run, yeah. Damn,
he got out the car, looked at him, saw that was a black man, probably, and got back in his car, and that was it. He looked at him, got out, and that was it. That's Nicki Minaj. Now it's tragic, but Nicki Minaj didn't really have a relationship with her father. But again, black women, the Barbs, ride for this woman who disrespected Malcolm X, looking ass niggas. I'm seeing. To me, once that happened, she should have been cut off. She should have been canceled. That's the key component that you may want to interject with your diatribe. There are things going on in the black community that for some reason can't be canceled. When you disrespect, Malcolm X is my heart. I would tell you honestly. That's my father, and then there's Malcolm X. Okay? Malcolm X, you diss Malcolm X, you're done. She dissed Malcolm X. Lil Wayne dissed Emmett Till. I think Big Sean said something about smoking weed with Rosa Parks, that he dreamed of smoking weed with Rosa Parks in the back of a limousine. Like, once you say that kind of stuff, black folks, for some reason, will not cancel you. But other folks cancel if you mispronounce, if you refer to, who's the singer in England? The gay singer in England, who's very popular, Sam Smith. So if you misgender Sam Smith, you will get canceled. But if you talk recklessly about Malcolm X, you get another record deal and more sponsorship. Black folks, I'm telling you, I'm spitting hot fire right now. Don't want you. Wait till my camera gets ready. Chaotic. It's gonna be a problem with me because I'm sick of this stuff as well. I want people to defy and to deconstruct what I just said. What I said was absolute truth. Absolute truth.
Let me real quick, and because I got to get HB2 in and D-Town in real quick. What do you think about this crazy old white man, Howard Stern, complaining that the black NBA players of today aren't dapping him up and hugging him?
Well, look, I'm gonna be. Look, I may veer off on this one with you. I get that these folks don't know who he is. I get it, right? But I'm uncomfortable when we start to kind of do the ageism thing, because there could be someone black that we should know and we don't know. Because I heard a few years back that some of these I'm talking about just across sports, some young basketball players didn't know who Jackie Robinson was.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care. You need to know who Jackie Robinson is. I don't care if you're the late. You just got put on. You need to know who Jackie Robinson is, because many years ago you wouldn't have passed the color line. So we can always use the excuse that, well, if this person existed before I was born, therefore I don't know. See, the Generation X and the Xennials, which I would consider myself an Xennial, we saw reruns. We kind of had to know what happened before us. It wasn't cute not to know. Chris Rock said, quote unquote, niggas love not to know. And where do we go with this? Look, I'll say one quick thing. I'll leave. One thing that's killing us is that we don't embrace legacy. You will see preteens in the white community in commercials, and I see them walking around. They will wear Ramones t-shirts. They will wear Stones t-shirts. They will wear Van Halen t-shirts. Black folks, you had 21 Savage saying, "Well, Nas is irrelevant. Nas isn't relevant." So I mean, Oh yes, you can look that up.
Wow. Okay.
But see, the key component is this is where I think, and I'm Howard Stern stand to a certain degree. Howard Stern, where he missed the mark was he was able to bring over 15 million plus subscribers from terrestrial radio to Sirius. Also for confidence, I'm a Sirius stockholder, right? So the media has changed, where everybody has their own little enclaves. I have to give you big ups. I think I sent you an email that Jason Whitlock's team shouted you out personally. They said you're a rising star, so kudos to you. So you are penetrating. But the fact that there's a Kevin Samuels, there's a Chaotic Truth, there's a whole bunch of people in their own boxes. Howard Stern created his own extraterrestrial box, and that's what media is, where media is now. He's relevant to a hell of a lot of people because you could look at his stock brokers. He's just not relevant to those young people. Nas sells out internationally. Damn what 21 Savage says. And he's doing orchestral stuff on PBS. So he's already beyond it.
I think beyond it. I think you could be right, but growing up, we do have to admit, if this was the 90s and you were playing the Temptations, you would get clowned for that too, though. By the community.
Well, that's look.
And like I said, David Ruffin, drug addict or not, he has a better voice, I think, than most modern day singers do. But if you were listening to David Ruffin in the 90s, people would clown you.
Well, some of this is programming because black folks are kind of programmed to be trendy.
So you're saying that black culture typically is the culture where if you're wearing or rocking a Temptation shirt, we're the only culture that say, "Oh, that ain't relevant." But you're saying white people, they'll rock the Beatles. They have a Beatles shirt and nobody will say anything. Are you saying that? That's what you're saying.
CT, the secret is, damn what 21 Savage says. the way that the money works, the classic music is outselling this new stuff. The new stuff.
A lot of people don't know that too. By the way, you're right.
Classic music, classic music, and one other thing, as far as in response to the Howard Stern thing, that explained to me how you have Japanese and Finnish children dancing to James Brown on TikTok and actually mimicking his moves. James Brown came into being in the mid-50s.
Yeah.
And yet a 50-year-old Japanese girl knows how to dance like James Brown, but we don't know who Howard Stern is, and he's a New Yorker, been doing radio for 40 years. See, I'm a little different, CT. I'm not giving black folks. I ain't giving black folks passes. Well, you ain't allowed to be stupid. I'm sorry. You may not listen to Howard Stern, but Howard Stern is the king of all media. Where the lineage between him and Wendy Williams and Charlemagne is rather distinct. So for you not to know, for brothers not to know, that's a little sloppy.
I think Lord Geotron has a question for you. Then I got to get to HB and D-Town. Lord Geotron, go ahead, sir.
I think his mic is
your mic, sir. Your mic. Sir.
Is it on? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to tell the brother, first of all, I want to congratulate you and thank you for your eloquent and well articulated delivery on what you had to say. I agree with pretty much 99.9% of it. The only thing I would add is a small tidbit to you. I hear elevation, which means that you're passionate. I'm not going to try to insult you and say emotional, which passionate and emotional could be the same thing, but I'm going to say compassionate and passionate about what you're saying, because you could hear. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah,
you can hear me. My phone went black. Okay. At any rate, but I would just add this caveat. You know, someone who's passed away, Emmett Till, Malcolm X, Black Wall Street, so on and so forth, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman, Esther Rolle, so many greats have passed away, Red Fox, all those people. Look at it like this. I look at death two ways. First of all, life is just a very, very short part of death. And death is punishment to the wicked, mercy to the good. So if somebody's dead, they're out of their misery. You understand what I'm saying? So even though people have forgotten or don't show the respect for honored people, take solace in the fact that they've passed on, so they don't have to suffer through what we're going through. That's the first part. And second part, when those wicked people that are peeing on Kevin Samuel and Malcolm X and whoever else's grave pass away, they're going to be eternally punished because they're wicked people. Just remember what I said. Death is punishment to the wicked. It's mercy to the good. You understand me? Life is nothing more than a very, very short part of death. It comes to all of us. So my point that I'm making is, bro, don't get worked up over people not honoring the past or people not honoring their pioneers, so to speak. Don't get bent out of shape over that, because what happens is they just get forgotten themselves. When the page of history gets turned, those people that they were peeing on will still be remembered. They're going to be gone with that page that got turned. You understand what I'm saying, bro?
Well, listen, Geotron, I hear you, and I agree with a large swath of what you're saying. I guess my concern is that we seem to have a little bit too much enamoration with death. Black people, let's all is die. Our music is about death. We saw Biggie Smalls and Tupac. You know, they popularized it, and we look at the amount of black rappers every month that have died. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I got
something. Hey, Lord Geotron, I don't know. You're gonna have to like get back into the car or something, because it's like the wind is like, yeah, it's too. Lord Geotron, let me tell him real quick. Are you gonna be back in the car, Lord Geotron? Because it's too the noise is, yeah. All right. Me University with the $2 super chat says biblically, of the tribe of Judah are the trendsetters. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. But HB, what's up, man?
What's goody, man? CT salute.
Yeah, man. What say you about we were talking about the beautiful Ariana Preston.
Yeah,
What say you? I mean, we talked already about it, but
she,
but what say you about her, sir?
yeah, she was a bad bitch, man. What can I say?
Ah, come on,
She
man.
was,
Dang.
she
I
was, man.
mean,
She was bad as hell. It's sad that she got killed out there. I heard they stole her gun and her badge too, man.
but
So
they recovered the gun.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that was like like it was like a gang trophy or something. They took her badge and her gun, man. Hey, but that's kind of what it is in the black community. You shoot a cop,
Mm.
whether they a white cop, a black cop, a bad bitch cop. If you shoot a cop, that's a hood trophy, man. It is what it is.
Have you gotten
Unfortunate.
to the point as a black man? Um, you're old enough to remember National Geographic with Dave Attenborough. Uh, have you got to the point where you observe the black community when you're out and about, like how how like um they used to, what they still do, they go into the jungle and they observe the animal.
Oh
The
yeah. Oh
flower,
yeah.
the penguin in his natural habitat is
Oh
a
yeah.
very. Are you like that now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
I think
I've
I
got
think
to that point. I've got to
especially during the George Floyd riots, man, I was driving around and it was like a jungle out there. People were breaking in breaking into ATMs, breaking into grocery stores. Like everybody was getting robbed. I even saw a train getting robbed, man. It was crazy. They stopped the whole train and robbed it. Stole a whole bunch of
Mm,
flat screen TVs out of it. But I honestly think it's not gonna stop. None of this stuff is gonna stop. I just saw the Chicago mayor doing an interview with Lil Durk, man. This ain't gonna stop.
who's
It's
who's little Dirk?
Lil Durk's he's like a rapper out of Chicago. He kind of promotes a lot of the gang killing and all that in Chicago. But I think a lot of it's not gonna stop. And I didn't really realize it until I started watching a lot of this like manosphere type stuff. I didn't really realize what the issue really is. A lot of it is just niggas really be hating on a lot of niggas, man. Like
Mm,
and I think it's a part of it is like the niggas at the top be hating on the niggas on the bottom, man.
mm,
Like growing up, I would be considered what you call a Pookie and Ray Ray, and
mm,
I never really understood that.
mm.
But once I got into kind of this manosphere place, I'm hearing all these YouTubers talk about, oh, she wanted Pookie and Ray Ray. She want to be with Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm like, damn, these niggas really be hating on Pookie and Ray Ray. And I think what they really don't want to see is a Pookie and Ray Ray make it out the hood. They don't want to see them change their lives and do anything better, because to them, they jealous of the Pookie and Ray Ray.
Mm.
Pookie and Ray
I
Ray
never
don't
heard
gotta.
that one. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
nah. It's they don't gotta go to
Mm,
school. They don't gotta get married. They don't gotta do all the other bullshit a lot of these niggas trying to
mm,
promote. They just get it out the mud. Excuse my French. Fuck a lot of bad bitches, but they really don't. They hate the Pookie and Ray Ray, man. And you hear it in a
mm.
lot of these so-called black men. They be talking about it like, oh, all she want to date is Pookie and Ray Ray. But
Let me ask this real quick. Real quick. And I never heard of this before, but do you think you don't hear a lot of black women talking about Ariana is because of how attractive Ariana was?
I think that's part of it. But I have heard people say it's because she's a cop, and I think
Okay,
that is
the
part
cop
of
was just
it.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's because she was a cop. They don't
Mm,
they don't really support that, even though in a lot of these major cities there are a lot of black women cops, and it's kind of crazy. Even they're not really speaking out about it. So I don't know.
um, what do you say about Howard Stern, sir?
Honestly, man, I'm gonna keep it real. Fuck Howard Stern, man. Fuck,
Mm.
fuck Howard Stern. He ain't, man. Don't nobody care what he. Honestly, if I saw him on courtside, I probably think he was a tranny, man. He looked crazy.
Mm.
He looked like a damn female.
Who was your favorite? Who was your favorite Whack Pack member?
What was the fat dude's name? The one always on drugs. What was his name?
Jeff the Drunk.
No. The one that was always he would leave and come back. He was always on drugs, or
He was part of the Whack Pack. I can't remember. It was so many of them.
yeah, I can't remember either. But I liked him and that the little midget dude too. The little
You're talking about Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, yeah.
Beetlejuice. Yeah, that was my.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
Somebody in the chat said he exploited. Somebody said he exploited Beetlejuice. No, he didn't. He employed Beetlejuice because most people wouldn't give Beetlejuice a chance in hell.
Yeah, he put Beetlejuice on, man. That's the one thing I can give him credit for. He put Beetlejuice on.
Has Howard Stern turned into Don Imus?
Yeah. He's a lot of times, you become what you hate the most, and I think he tried to act like he was so for the black community, and talking about he bring up hip hop artists and stuff, but I don't know. I just kind of think he's like he just exploits certain people, and he's kind of mad nobody's giving him credit for it. It's like, man, you're not even like people. I don't know, man. Honestly, for me, like I never really thought he was all that like that. I kind of liked his interviews, but I never really listened to Howard Stern and was like, yeah, I got to hear what Howard has to say. I always just liked his interview style, but I just think he's a Caucasian J that got the bag,
When did he go soft? When did he go soft?
I think he's always been soft, man. Just kind of what he chooses to speak on. I just think before everything wasn't so magnified. Like now everything is so magnified. So when you don't speak on certain topics or you have the same liberal ideologies as a lot of these people, you kind of see who these people really are behind the scenes. Like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, he didn't really have to speak on social issues. But now it's kind of the thing to talk about. So now you really get to see how he feels about things. And, I always thought he was kind of just like a racist, Jewish guy, man. I never, and I'm kind of glad the NBA players ain't giving him no respect, man. He don't deserve no respect like that, man. You got the bag. What else? Why you want a bunch of young black men to give you that, man? That's weird.
It is kind of strange. I will admit that he's 69. D Money, D, what's up, man? I mean, D Town, what's up? Not D Money. I'm looking at something totally different. D Town, what's up, man? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. But go ahead. I'm over here doing something. Go ahead, do what y'all doing, man. I'm enjoying the conversation. Though.
Okay. HB, if Ariana was not a cop, if she looked like me in the face and was a white person was the perp, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, they'd be all over that, man. They would be all over that. They'd have pictures of her respectfully, her ugly face on T-shirts, But yeah, it is a shame, man. It really is a shame. But yeah, they'd be all over that, especially if a white, even if like a white cop killed her, they'd be all over that, man. But especially that. But they don't really care. They don't really care about niggas killing niggas. They don't really care about that, man. And I really believe it's because the educated Negroes, they don't want to see those Pookie and Ray Rays turn their life around. These niggas could easily go put different programs in the neighborhoods. They could go talk to these gangs, give them opportunities. They could be pulling these dumbass niggas out of school and putting them in the trades. They could be doing all of these things if they want. They could They could easily say, listen, we want the National Guard in all these major cities to crack down on all this crime. They could easily
Illinois has 10,000 National Guardsmen, by the way.
They could easily do all of that. But the reason why these educated Negroes don't want to do it, they don't want to see Pookie and Ray Ray turn their life around. They don't
I might disagree though.
You know what I think the United States government should do? You know, we've already in 1 year we've given Ukraine, I think, close to $50 billion. I would support the United States government. Lord, you got like a background noise. Let me mute you real quick, bro. I would support, and HB, please, if you agree with me, I would support the United States government procuring land in some rural part of Africa. You know, build like a city that's conducive for, let's say, 10 to 20,000 people. And I would say to all the gang members and stuff, here goes a city. You guys can have it. And I would just ship them all there. HB, what do you think about that? You think they would go?
I honestly, it would look like District 9, man. You ever see that movie? It would I don't think.
I would give them all the weapons.
Nah.
Honestly, you gotta supply them with food, aid. I would say, here goes the city, man. You guys can. I would put all the people there. Hey, man, look, you can have this city to yourself.
I don't think
no cops.
I don't think that's the. I do think a lot of these kids can't be turned around, man. Because me personally, like when I was younger, like in my teens and stuff, I was doing a lot of bad things. You know what I mean? Like I was in the streets doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing, and I was able to turn my life around.
Did you ever kill a cat growing up?
No, never.
Or you weren't a psychopath then? Okay.
No. We used to like terrorize the homeless though a lot. We would do stuff like that. So you know, it was kind of messed up in that sense. But I was never into you know, messing with animals though. That's a whole nother.
If a person were to tell me yes, I think that. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I did see a couple like dog fights though, like straight up like pit bulls going at each other. So I mean, I wasn't involved with it personally, but I was around those type of individuals, like older cats that were doing that type of stuff, fighting pit bulls and stuff.
Kenny, is your mic working now? Let's see. Let's see what Kenny has to say. Kenny, go ahead.
Yeah, can you guys hear me better?
It's still choppy, but go ahead though.
Let's see. What about now?
It's still choppy, but go ahead.
Okay, if it's choppy, let me know. Then I can maybe let me reset the mic so that way you guys are not, you know. Let me reset the mic. Go ahead and do your thing. I'll be right back. Okay.
It's still messing up.
But yeah, I think. But I truly do think though, that's why a lot of these black folks they take up for the stuff that these niggas be doing in the hood and try to give excuses for it. Like, man, I was just being young and dumb. That's all it was. It wasn't no systematic racism. I grew up in Detroit. There wasn't even no white people, so I didn't even know about no damn systematic racism. It was all niggas in Detroit, so I don't even know. These niggas be capping, man. I think they really just don't want to see niggas that come from those environments turn their life around. They be hating, man. That's to me, that's what it is. I be seeing it with you. A lot of niggas be hating on you, man. They be making up words just to talk shit about you, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's the hate is real, man. Niggas just they're hateful people, man, and they can never just accept the reality. People want to live in the past all day, man. Like, you know, respect to all them brothers that, you know, fought in the past, but them niggas is out of here, man. We got to worry about what's happening right now.
Lord G, I'm about to get up out of here, man. You have any last words to say, man? Thank you so much, HB.
Salute, man.
Yep. Thank you so much, HB.
Salute Ken I, man. Love you, man. Be safe.
Everybody else.
When
When I say that,
go ahead.
forget about everybody else. And when I say that, I'm not talking about like F everybody else, but like I ain't no victim, bro. I don't get victimized. I'm not gonna have a victim's mindset. I'm not gonna enter the conversation with this is against me, that's against me, systemic racism. I'm a man. Men got it hard. I gotta do this. I'm not coming like that, man. Real talk, man. I'm coming like, yo, I'm the talk of the town. I'm the center of attention. I'm the spotlight. I'm the reason you here. That's how I'm coming. I'm coming with, I'm capable of this. I'm know that. I'm this. I'm that. That's how I'm coming. And I have a purpose. And it goes beyond myself. I'm not selfish enough to think I'm the most important person or to be the most important person to myself. I love my God. I love my country. Yeah, I particularly am black, but I'm the way black and white and colorism is looked at as classism and / victimhood. And like I said, I ain't no victim. So I identify as black. I identify as black. Yeah, I'm a black man. Like I said, my mama Chinese and black mix. My daddy Seminole Indian and Haitian mix with some Puerto Rican in it. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, I'm black. I'm mixed, but I'm black. You know what I mean? And I don't care about none of that. None of that means anything to me, man. None of that mean anything to me. At the end of the day, I go into every situation like this. I'm the showstopper. I'm that guy. I'm the reason VIP got open. I'm the reason why them chicks is here. I go into every situation like, yo, I'm the reason why they got those golds in their mouth. I'm the reason why they rocking those sneakers. I'm the reason why they driving that particular car. I go into every situation like, I don't have that victim mindset, and I'm always going into every situation like, yo, I'm gonna be the trendsetter. And the thing is, I don't do it out of competitiveness. I do it to be an example setter. I don't wear these Black Mamba and Kobe Bryant clothes and Lakers clothes for nothing. I live with that Black Mamba mentality and Kobe Bryant. I live by setting an example. It ain't even nothing to talk about. But I'm not gonna, when I do talk, I'm not gonna talk about being a victim. I'm not gonna talk about what's against me. I'm not gonna talk about somebody can hurt my feelings who I don't know or don't give a flying fuck about. How somebody you don't know nothing about or don't give a fuck about hurting your feelings when you're a man? One thing if you was a female, but when you're a man, somebody you don't know or don't care about shouldn't be able to hurt your feelings. But at the end of the day, bro, man, it's a travesty what happened to the little girl, the police officer lady. And Howard Stern or Howard Stern could go to hell. I've heard throughout his career, well, like I've heard a lot of things that he said. I went and looked up some clips. He had a lot of things where he said, I had good intentions. Good intentions was always a moniker of his, was always being spoken about. You understand me? The road to hell is paved by good intentions, bro.
Yeah, I totally agree, man.
You understand?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Chaotic, man. I'm with you, bro. All I'm saying is, bro, man, yo, let's get rich.
Does the speaker have something?
It's still chopping up, Akine. It's still chopping up, Akine. But I'm about to roll out. But any last words, Akine? Yeah. Thank you so much, Gio. I'm about to roll out, though, Akine. Go ahead.
Yeah, so no problem. Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk some more. Yeah, let's talk some more that time. Yeah.
Yep. Peace.
Okay, peace.
Guys, I'm out of here. Salute to you. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Guys, thank you so much for the guys who came up on the panel. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats. Really appreciate that. I am out of here. I'll see you guys next week. See you guys next week, guys.